just happy to be here.
What is up, beautiful people of the world? My name is Exact Change, and I'm happy to be here today with my guest, True Justice.
What's up, man?
A.K.A. George Lopez.
A.K.A. Han Cholo.
Oh, Han Cholo. Nice. So is the George Lopez because of the uncanny resemblance to George Lopez?
I wish. I've always gotten more comparison to Gabriel Iglesias, the fluffy guy. But it's probably more of my obsession with George Lopez, yeah.
So one of your favorite comedians?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
I got to meet him once. And
I think I saw that. I was going through the Instagram today, and I was like, oh, shit.
It was like monumental moment in my life.
Was that here in Spokane?
Yeah. I think it was the casino, actually. And Twitter, actually, is how I got to make that happen. It's pretty cool.
Twitter?
Yeah.
How did that work?
Years ago, George Lopez had a late night show called like Lopez Tonight on TBS, and got real into it. And he used to do a segment where he would read people's tweets. So that's what made me start a Twitter account. And I was like, I got to get on this show. So for years, I would tweet him. What's up, George? Putting my socks on. What's up, George? About to play some video games. George. Anything, right? Well, probably a year later, he responds because I said something like, just sitting around waiting for George to tweet me back. And I get a retweet, and it's like, put the video games down and go get laid.
Oh, God,
I'm like,
damn.
oh, shit. But I was so pumped, so I screenshot it, I retweeted, I put it on Facebook. I'm just like, oh, my God, my life's made. And then he's coming to town probably another year later or something like that. And had tickets, me and my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, we were going to go, and had some health issues go on with her and stuff, so like we couldn't go, and like we had a lot of help from the family, so decided to give the tickets to my grandparents. And I think I tweeted him that day, and I was like, sorry, I'm going to miss the show. I was really looking forward to it, all this stuff. But I gave the tickets to my grandparents. I know you're going to be amazing. And he tweets me back pretty quick, actually. He's like, just let me know how many tickets you need. I got you. And I was like, whoa, this can't be real. And then I got a direct message, and it's like from his handler or whatever. And it's like, hey, George told me to reach out to you. How many tickets do you need? We want to make sure you don't miss the show. Wow. And I was like, no way, what is going on? This is crazy. Like, is this for real? And he's like, yeah, it's for real. And so we ended up going, enjoyed the show. Well, after
So all four of you guys went?
Well, my grandparents went to an earlier show.
Oh, okay.
So they ended up going, and then we went to a later one. And I got the handler's phone number because he said, give me a call or text if anything doesn't go right. Go to roll call or whatever, get your tickets. After the show, we walked outside, and I said, I can't not try. So I sent him a text to that handler's number, and I was like, so I got to ask, can I meet the man? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, George is already getting undressed. We got to hit the bus real quick. We got another stop to make early in the morning. I'm like, all right, I understand. But I was like, no, I'm not going to leave it at that. I'm going to tweet George again. So I tweeted, I said, man, I was hoping to meet you, but your guy said you were already in the back. He's like, fuck that, come on back. And I was like, oh, what the hell? So I screenshot George's response to me. I texted it to the handler guy. And he's like, well, we better get you back here then.
Wow.
I was persistent, but it was a beautiful moment.
Bro, that just shows you that it pays off to be persistent.
Yeah.
Seriously, because you could have just been like, all right, and just went home for the night.
Yeah. And it's great. I've kept the guy's number this whole time just in case.
The handler.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm throwing the fight tonight. Can George come through, please?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking awesome, man. Wow. So, just what an amazing, just going after it, man. Like, that's just you can use that in anything in life.
Yeah. And you need to, because, you give up too soon. It's always full of regrets, Nobody ever looks back and says like, oh, I wish I didn't try so hard at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, even just like the tweets, just to even get the tickets and to just start the Twitter and to consistently be like, yo George, hey George, and then he roasts you, and then you're like, I just got roasted by George Lopez.
Yeah, exactly.
Go get laid, get out the video games. Like, oh fuck, I got a girl. What you talking about? I'm doing both, but I bet it feels good to get roasted by one of your favorite comedians, man. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, never forget it. It's funny, me and my wife both got a picture with him, and then I got one by myself with him. Well, I only printed up one of me and him. She gets bitter about it.
Really? Yeah. Wait, so where's the other picture?
It's just sitting in my phones.
Like,
so I printed up one of those wooden wooden board plaques of it, and I put it up in my work office. She's like, really? I'm like,
you're not going to put the one of all of us? Like, this is me and George, all right? George,
just kicking it.
Yeah, man, I've loved the nicknames, man. Han Cholo, I really like that one too.
Yeah. We always had fun with it. You know, it was always tough when I came up because I had so many different names that I would try to go by because I've been doing this for so long, and just going by TJ forever. I was like, I want something cool. I want something like heroic, like not heroic, I guess, but like my alias. You know, I love superheroes and I love that stuff. So I was like, I need something. So I went back and forth with so many things.
Those play on words.
Yeah. And, you know, of course, George Lopez inspired that one. And then the Han Cholo was actually a funny story because Nobe used to go by Nobi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, that's
and,
right.
And Jakin used to call himself Luke Flytalker, I think.
Yeah.
And so when we were all kicking it, we were talking about, I was like, man, I'll go Han Cholo and we could do a fucking Star Wars track. And we were supposed to make it happen, but we just never, but it just kind of stuck. I was like, well, I'm keeping it.
No, oh, you guys were supposed to do a Star Wars track?
Yeah, it was a brief discussion, but man, just never got to make it happen.
Hey, man, it's never too late.
Yeah.
Star Wars is still
they're still going.
So how long have you been making music for?
It's coming on 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I started writing when I was 11, and I'm 31 now. So I've been writing for 20 years, and then I think I recorded my first track when I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, back then it was just throwing it in. Like, what kind of program was even back then? You know,
Yeah,
I can't even think.
I had some kind of a mixer board that my family had gotten me, and I had no idea how to use it. So I ended up getting like this. It was one of those, $20 mics, and you plug it in there. And then I couldn't even figure out how to get it onto a disc or onto anything like that. So if I wanted to show people, I had to carry that with me, or I had to have them come over to my mom's house to like hear it, And then I think I was 15 when I got into a first studio.
I mean, and that was such a big deal when you were a kid.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were like going to show somebody.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got to check this.
Yeah, and that was a day when not everybody was a rapper or a musician. It was a very select few people.
Like you were the
doing
one
it.
in your friends. It's like, yo, I got this mixing board. They're like, whoa, how does it work? I don't know.
Yeah, no clue. Yeah.
So, when did you kind of start kind of pursuing it, like, I guess you could say, like, legitimately as a kind of like a career in a way where you're really, showcasing it to people and putting it out there for people to find it and doing shows and that kind of thing?
17. That's when I really got into it. So I was getting in a little bit of trouble out here. Ended up going to Wisconsin to kind of meet my father a little bit. We had met a couple times in my life, but my mom couldn't take my shit no more.
So it's kind of like a Will Smith story. It's kind of like a Fresh Prince story.
Yeah, a little bit actually. Which is funny actually.
Moving to Wisconsin.
Yeah. Not as a cool environment, but I was in a house eventually that reminded me of the Bel Air Mansion. But I used to always joke about that too. That's funny. Got out there and I think I was at like my stepsister's wedding. And there's this guy, and they're like, "Hey, you do music, and we got my friend over here. He records music. I'd like you to meet him." And I was like, "Oh, cool," And he's this little tiny white kid, a few years older than me, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up, man? What's up?" And I was like, "Hey," and he's like, "I got a studio. You wanna, why don't you spit something for me?" And I was like, "Oh shit, okay." So I just spit something. He's like, "Hell yeah, let's make something happen." And so I didn't have a car at the time. Lived in bumfuck nowhere in the country, and called Freedom,
this is
Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Freedom, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Freedom,
oh my
Wisconsin.
God,
and
sounds scary.
Yeah, and he would drive like 45 minutes from his small town to come pick me up or take me out for like a weekend at a time. And then he started going to school in Madison, Wisconsin for music. So he got a little apartment out there, started spending weekends out there. Really
So
putting
how
it
long
together.
were you out in Wisconsin for?
Off and on for almost 2 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah,
So what was it like over there, man? Besides, nothing out there.
Well, it's different. I spent time in the country and in the city. So I spent some time in Milwaukee, spent some time in Green Bay, on the res in Oneida, and so different on all the angles. Madison reminds me of Spokane, but more diverse.
It's a bigger city.
Yeah, it's about. It was at the time around 200,000 or something like that.
Okay.
College town, and then Milwaukee. I was in a like all black neighborhood with my boy Dre out there, and that was very different, but it was exciting.
Because you're from here, from Spokane?
Yeah, I was born here. But I saw somebody get shot the first 15 minutes I was in Milwaukee, and it was like wake up call, because you come around here, you kind of hear about people like, oh, there's some gangsters out here. It's like, no, it's not the same though. Like there's some areas in this country where you can't walk down the street without guns getting pulled, and that was a big, huge thing for me.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
And you were how old? 17?
Yeah, 17 at that time. Yeah, when I went out to Milwaukee. Yeah.
Hey man, builds character.
Yeah.
So you so you're meeting up with this. You met up with this dude. You start making music. You kind of, this is kind of where like it was probably getting a little bit more exciting because you were kind of taking your, what you had done as a younger kid, and now you're able to like, whoa, I'm going to get in the studio. Yeah. I'm actually able to kind of do it a little bit more legit.
Yeah. That's the first time I started feeling like a superstar on the rise. Like, honestly, I did. It was, it was called Diverse Records at the time. It was like DI-verse. And,
you gotta spell it.
Yeah. And, I think, so he was producing, he was rapping too, but, then we had me, and then he had probably 2, 3, maybe 4 other rappers and a singer, and then a producer he was working with in Vegas. So we had a nice little thing going, and we started getting those shows like opening for bigger acts, things like that. And after about a year or so, I had come home when me and my pops didn't really work out, which was expected. So then I ended up moving back out there with just my producer for a while, and Snoop Dogg show was going to come up, and we were going to open for Snoop, and I was so pumped, right? It was like, this is what I'm talking about. And then he hit us with this contract, and he said, so here's the contract everybody needs to sign before you can do the Snoop Dogg show. And my aunt back home here, she was going to law school at the time, so I sent it to her. I was like, can you look at this,
Very smart. Yeah.
And she just hit me up right away and said, do not sign that. And I said, okay, what's wrong with it? She's like, just do not sign it. Just don't jump in. I'll explain it all to you. Just don't sign it. And so I kind of let him know, and he just flipped the script on me bad. Like he's like, well, then you can't perform at the Snoop Dogg show. And I was like, that's a risk I got to take. My aunt's telling me not to sign this. I got to talk to her some more about it. And he's really putting the pressure. Everybody else signed it. I'm like, I get that. But, maybe they didn't have somebody look at it. Maybe they didn't understand.
They didn't have anybody look at it.
And then he fucking pulls the shit of, okay, so where are you going to live? And I was like, oh, okay. So
this is the guy that you were making music with.
Yeah, living with at the time, out in Wisconsin with.
So that's almost clear that he was trying to pull some shit.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I still got a few people out here. So if that's how it's going to be, I'll be out tonight, And, I packed up my bag because that's all I really had. Called up one of the other guys on the label. I said, hey, I need you to come get me. And, man, this left my producer just, like, begging for me to stay. And I was like, no, you're going to do me dirty like that, threaten to make me homeless in Wisconsin because I don't want to sign this yet. But he was trying to take, like, 95% ownership of everything I wrote, produced, anything recorded in his studio or during the time I was with him. And there was no end date.
So there's like, people are just trying to slip it in real quick.
That's fucking shady, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Super shady.
Yeah, so.
Damn.
And at that time, we had already been doing it for a while because I'm pretty sure I was actually 19 at that time.
Is this the 90s? What? I don't know how old you are.
At this time, I'm 19 because this is after I'd already
2007, 2008-ish.
Yeah.
Because I'm 31 too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're
and I graduated in 06. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, y'all have the same birthday?
Yeah,
same birthday.
Same birthday, same year.
Same.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're the same exact age.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hits blunt.
Right? Bro, it makes me sad because look, I could have been a beefcake like this man, and I'm over here just, limp noodle.
Limp noodle.
Limp noodle.
So what's your guys' signs?
Leo. I'm right on the cusp.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
the last day.
Leo, Virgo. I'm a Leo with Virgo tendencies. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I say it.
Yeah. I never understand that stuff. And just when I lose my temper, people say, oh, yeah, you're a Leo.
You're a Leo.
Oh, that's what Leos do.
And I'm like, okay.
Oh, you're like, that's right. Yeah, none of the other signs lose their temper.
Yeah. And I saw recent things that had like, if you're this, and it was like 6 of them. And they're like, then you have these tendencies. I'm like, that's half of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
That's
what do
just
you
human
mean?
being
That's-
shit.
Well, I'm a Scorpio. They say that Scorpios are like mad jealous and shit. And I don't really get jealous. So I don't know. It's definitely not like the perfect science. But I think that like religion, though, astrology, it's just something that can, it can just kind of give you an excuse to have like a better day, or to feel better about something, because they're always encouraging. Really,
get your hopes up.
You never read a horoscope and it's like your day is gonna fucking suck, dude.
You're
like
gonna
it's
shit
always
your
like
pants today.
it's like you might get a little stressed, but buckle down. It's gonna be great.
You'll make it through. It's always like some fortune cookie, just platitude.
It's always something you need to see. Like you're like, fucking all right. I guess it's gonna be fine. Cool. Don't trip about it. Like.
I need a specific horoscope. I need some shit that's just like, stay away from Steve today.
Right? That would be helpful.
Call your mom.
That'd be creepy though. You're like, wait, how do you know me, horoscope?
Don't drink that last shot of tequila.
Damn, how'd you know?
Yo, that's just a conscience right there. That's your conscience talking to you. So who are some of your? Because we'll continue the story a little bit, but who are some of your like big influences at like that younger age? When you were coming up?
It was all about Eminem and Tupac for me. Everything was.
West Coast.
Tupac was kind of the one who showed me that it was okay to rap about things that you see, and not just about what you're doing. And like kind of be a storyteller and bring the poetry aspect into it, which I really appreciated. And then Eminem was the life-changing for me, for many, I think really was, but really taught me my anger could get put into something else, and it was okay to be vulnerable and be angry and let people know. And of course I related to him about the piece of shit dad aspect in life, and like struggles with mom and all this stuff, and I was just like, man, like this guy's speaking to me. And remember I got that Marshall Mathers LP.
Yep, that was the one.
But I was too young to get it myself, so I had to go to like Sam Goody or whatever it was, and it was an edited copy, but I still cherish the shit out of it.
Bro, he's got that line, kids hiding this tape from their parents like bad report cards.
No, it's real. Like
it's real.
It was.
He knew exactly who he was rapping to.
Yeah.
You know? Like it was like I think that's how we nailed it on the head so much. And I try not to talk about Eminem on every podcast we have.
It's tough.
But it really did play. He really did play such a instrumental part, like you said, in a lot of our lives. And he just, you really felt like he was talking to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what he was saying, you were like, yeah, fuck my stepdad.
Just all of it.
Right?
And then he like exposed, like, you had people like Brother Lynch, talking that vulgar stuff, right? But Eminem just made it like to another extreme, I felt like, with his puns and his just flow.
It was
and everything.
so
just
good.
Like, so it's like, man, you got to be a genius to put these things together.
There was something about this thirst for wanting bad shit. Like people that were talking about things that you weren't allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Eminem was rapping about shit that you were like, it was just like video games. It was just like movies to me. I never felt like I was going to actually go out. Like, this is going to make me a violent person. Yeah. But you would really, like, whether it was Eminem or later on 50 Cent too, it would just give you this feeling. Like if you were just rolling down the street listening to some 50, you just wanted to jump out and beat someone's ass. You're just like, oh my, why do I feel like this? God, get
it's
this,
like, I'll take 9 shots.
Yeah. I'm like
I'm
Johnny
invincible,
Knoxville, bro.
Right?
Hit me.
Yeah.
It's an outlet, though. It's almost like a safe way to get those feelings out and feel that way without needing to go
Being
like,
a psycho.
Yeah, like you say, just because I watched the movie or listened to Eminem talking all this shit or whoever, I'm not gonna go out and commit these acts.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was like the whole thing with like Grand Theft Auto video games and shit like that, right? They're like, oh my God, you're going out there, you're shooting a lady in the face,
Right? Yeah.
But
I'm doing this so I don't take it out on somebody in real life.
And I think it's proven. I do think it's proven that video games don't like incite people to go out and commit violence.
Yeah, no, I think it leaves people excuses or a scapegoat.
I feel like if anything, it gives people an outlet to not go do those things. Like, and I don't think that people play Call of Duty because they're angry and they're like, God, I'm just pissed. I need to get on some Call of Duty and murder some people.
Yeah,
there's not a psychological connection. It's fun.
Yeah.
Strategy, right?
And it's that teamwork, accomplishing things or racking up numbers and bragging rights, all that stuff.
All that.
Yeah. I have spent too many binging hours on Grand Theft Auto and got a little confused when I was driving later that night. Though I have, like, it's been like, oh my god, like I don't give a fuck about red lights right now.
Yeah,
like
I'm just smashing.
I'm just gonna take whatever I can. Luckily, I didn't go that far, but it was fucking with my head. Like,
it's in there,
and that's when I was like, I might need to take a break.
Now imagine when this VR stuff starts coming out.
Oh yeah,
more heavy, right? Like, especially when they can really capture it to really feeling like you're there.
Yeah.
And then imagine binging that for 8 to 10 hours.
I think it's going to cause, it could cause some serious depression with people when they have to go back to their real life.
Back to the real life, yeah. And it's not as, that shit goes back though. It's psychology. There's a real thing called Tetris syndrome, where like world champion Tetris players that play like a shit ton of Tetris, even back in the day when that was like the only game that games were, they dream about it. Like when they're sitting there not playing, they're just like sitting at work or whatever, they're picturing the pieces in their head going together. Like
really,
it's I've heard people say the same thing about like those Guitar Hero games when they were a big thing. Like you play the Guitar Hero for so long and then you look away from the screen and you got these notes just kind of like still popping up in your eyes at random times. Like you do enough of that shit for long enough and it does start to affect your brain. So I can only imagine with VR and everything.
Especially when you're excited about it.
Yeah.
It's like when and this applies to even like, you can relate to this, like a new song that you're working on and you're at work or something and you're just, oh man, I just can't wait. Like I'm just going to get back. I'm going to pull out the whiskey. I'm going to have a little bit of that. I'm going to get right back in on that beat. Yeah. You know, it's like or that game or that book or that, I mean, it like when I was a kid, it was books. I'd be reading this book. I can't wait to get back to that book. You know, or that show is probably more that now. Yeah. People are less books, more shows.
Yeah. I tend to buy more books than I read nowadays. That's for sure.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do good for myself. I'm going to buy a book.
And it just sits there while I binge some shit.
Or when I first get the book, I'm like, I'm oh yeah. And then I'll fucking pull it out and I'll start reading it. And then, I don't know, slowly you just phase it out. I'm a big believer that you just got to find things that you're really, really passionate about and just do those things. And there's some things you're going to have to discipline yourself to do that you don't want to do. Yeah. But really just find things that really you're passionate about and then you won't have to worry about trying to force yourself to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, how's that New Year's resolution going, Change?
I fucked up.
Oh, what was yours?
I mean, it was to read 30 minutes a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I read 30 minutes a day. It's just on like the phone. It's on Instagram. I'm reading captions. I'm reading,
You weren't as specific as you needed.
It's true. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to read a book, but I'm reading nutrition facts, Yeah. But who was it first? Was it Tupac or Eminem? Probably Tupac, right?
I'm not. Eminem's probably the one that actually made me want to start rapping. Tupac was more engaging, but I was only 8 years old when Tupac died. So it's like it hit my older cousins a lot harder than it hit me at the time. And then like even Aaliyah passing away was like a little bit more impactful on me because I knew who she was a little bit longer. But yeah, like Tupac was definitely somebody I listened to, but not as much at the time. And then of course after he passed, then all
so appreciated it later.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no. When you have older generations that are like, oh, you didn't listen to it, you weren't fucking with him when he, whatever. I'm just like, people are going to find it when they find it.
Yeah.
The point is that you really appreciate it. Yeah. At some point. Yeah. And yeah, Tupac, the only thing that I really didn't like about Tupac was that he would put like some of his friends on that just like weren't that good, God. And I just wanted to hear more Tupac, but then you would just have like some dude just coming in with some mediocre verse, and you're just like, damn, all right, well, but he, created some of the most melodic, dopest, and he would rap about everything, like real shit too, like the Dear Mama and just like a lot of like touching things as well as I don't give a fuck. Like just you could express all these different moods. Yeah. I don't think did Eminem make a song that was like fun and happy?
Fun and happy? Yeah, I mean he's had plenty of those.
Purple Pills?
I mean, no, Chicka Slim his original song, Hi, My Name Is. Like that's happy.
His first singles off his albums were usually some kind of goofball stuff, like The Real Slim Shady, and
True.
Or guess who's back? You know, like that's all fun.
That was all fun.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So he'll lead off with the fun shit and then get into the drug abuse and the killing his mom and all that stuff. That's so weird though that you mentioned like Brother Lynch hung and stuff, because like when he's talking about like guts all over the room, pussy, you know what, like and going, you know he's just talking shit. Yeah. Like he's just it's like the same thing. It's kind of that same like carnal like ICP type shit where it's just like let's talk about fucked up shit because it's fucked up.
Nuts and guts all over your chest and stomach.
But when Eminem's talking about it, you're like, damn, did he really kill his mom? Like,
well, I mean, when you have a skit where she's like screaming, he's like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch."
It's a little different.
Yeah, he's like dragging her, and the kid's like, he's like, "Just be quiet. It's all like, you know." You're just
damn,
like, oh, this is crazy, you know.
Like I hope Kim's okay.
What's the difference between? I mean, all this is an audio movie.
Yeah.
That's what's happening, right? It was going from like reading a book and using your imagination to now you're listening to this record and you're creating in your mind kind of a movie of what you're hearing. Yeah. You know, and this is really making you feel some type of way. And if you feel offended, good. Yeah. Because this we're trying to make you bring you to a place, just like if you were watching Hostel. Yeah. The movie, and you're like, oh God, this is fucked up. And you're like, this is it. You're supposed to feel weird about this. That's what this movie's supposed to do to you, you know? And you're supposed to have some type of feeling.
Yeah, I mean, if you're creating any form of art and you're not eliciting any sort of emotion, I mean, you know, it's like that's kind of the point, is to make some sort of statement, or whether it's a happy emotion or a sad emotion or uncomfortable emotions. You know, like that's where art really is.
Or a powerful emotion. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, those songs you throw on when you're riding in the car and you're just like,
oh yeah.
You know, that's where you get, you're like, ooh, boy, fuck all the bullshit. I was upset.
Right.
If it don't touch your soul, you can't fuck with it, right?
Man. So you were, when you came back to Spokane, 21, 22 years
still
old.
19 when I came back.
Oh, still 19 when you came back. Okay. And still pursuing music, or kind of just obviously got resettled and then.
Yeah. When I came back home, I was done. I felt like I got crushed from like my hopes and dreams and what I thought life was going to be. And then somebody who I considered a best friend to stab me in the back. I was just like, it's too dirty. I don't like this game, you know? So.
And when you're young, you're emotional too.
Yeah. Like, fuck this shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I went and got a job at Walmart out in Airy Heights when they were opening up, and kind of staying with my grandparents. I think I was at my mom's for like a week before we just couldn't take each other no more. So then I'm out with grandma and just doing my thing. And well, I think everything was going pretty smooth until I lost that job. And then I didn't know what to do. I had a record building up at that time. Still wasn't making the best decisions. So I don't even remember who introduced me to this guy. I ended up meeting somebody who goes by Crooked, who introduced me to somebody who went by Atrocity, and he had a little studio out in Browns Edition. And so I would go stay on my boy's couch on the west side, and then I'd walk my ass across the bridge to go to Browns Edition, and this fool would let me record for like 12 hours, and all I'd have to do was bring him like a pack of cigarettes and a bag of burgers, you know. Wow. And so we would sit in there, and I just start making music again, and it started feeling good, and I was like, all right, cool. And that's when Another Rose in the Concrete started getting put together. And then I went to school with Big P for years. He was actually in the very small group of people that was like rapping and people knew back in high school.
And this was before Wisconsin.
Yeah, before that. So I don't remember how we reconnected with P, but all of a sudden we do a song, and I was like, okay, cool. And then we're gonna go do a show, Hip Hop for Hunger, that Robbie was putting on.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
And on the way, he's like, oh, I got to stop my boy On One's house, and I was like, On One, like Street Pharmacy? He's like, yeah, you know. And I was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
cool.
because that Street Pharmacy shit was fire.
And so I'm like, and that's how me and On One met. On the way to that show, chopped it up a little bit, and then that kind of started taking off. You know, that's when really started working on a whole lot of stuff. So that was probably 2012 at that time.
Okay, I think this is maybe when I met you. So
possibly
2012. Yeah, it had to be like 2013, 14, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
is when I first met you. And so you had just met on one in like 2012?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like you guys had known each other for like a long time.
Yeah. We clicked really well. We realized we both had a really fucking weird sense of humor and liked some of the same shit, same music, and then we were both kind of awkward around other people. It was just kind of nice, you know. And we
kind of became like best friends of sorts.
Yeah, he's like a brother to me. I consider him, you know,
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys have a record together, right?
Yeah, we did Eat, Breathe, Live, which was a lot of fun.
So when was that? 2015?
Eat, Breathe, Live, I believe, was 2013.
Yeah, I think it was probably sometime around in there. We could probably find out.
Yeah, that fucking record was so dope, bro.
So good.
That was
did that have the lotion on it?
Yeah, lotion, exactly. Dude.
I got to see one of the few live performances of that song. Fucking incredible.
It was great live.
That story with the lotion. It's just a joke, you know.
Of course.
We're at On One Spot, and P was supposed to be on the song. I think he said he got too high that day, and so he didn't come through. And then I think Mike stepped on a nail. I think he talked about this with you a little bit on his episode, but yeah, we're just, you know, brainstorming. We're like, let's make a song to make fun of all the shit people like, you know, let's just make fun of it. And so we're back and forth. And I don't know if you've ever seen On One when he's writing, but he just like holds his laptop in his hand and he like paces around the room and he'll stop it like, and he's like, so he's doing that. He's like, how about this? How about puts the lotion on his skin and gets the hose again? And I was like, that's fucked up. I like it. Let's do that. He's
that's
like,
fucked up.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's like, okay. And he's like, we got to repeat it though. That's the point, right? We repeat it over and over. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And God, yeah, we did not expect people to respond so well to that song or that project.
Who produced the beat? Do you know who produced the beat on that?
Gosh, I think he leased it off one of those sites.
You guys just made a banger. With this, just wrote a hook. Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
I love just getting a beat from a site and just fucking doing a banger, a fun banger.
Yeah,
Eat, Breathe, Live came out on October 31st of 2012.
2012. Damn.
Yeah.
See, 2012 was a big year for my music making.
Yeah,
So
man.
that had to be when I met you.
Yeah.
It was 2012.
With features from Mods, from Nobe, from Blaze One, from Keek the Sneak.
What?
Bro, yeah, the Keek the Sneak feature on here. All gas.
A Keek the Sneak feature.
Yeah, man.
Oh shit.
You can find it on Bandcamp. Eat, Breathe, Live, True Justice, and On One.
And so from there, I mean, dude, I've always known you to be the person that would make a fucking album with 38 songs on it, right?
21 on this one. On
21.
one.
That
On
was
one.
probably
Dialed
because
back
he
a few.
limited it.
That's a normal,
Yeah.
I think that's a normal, right? Like 20, like 20
for like a
songs.
mixtape type.
We had to meet in the middle because he's really the guy who's like, oh, let's do 14, like 12 or 14.
That's me,
tracks.
bro. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like we'll make 18 and be like,
that's my Tupac mentality where I'm like, if I record it, it's got to be released. You got to
Everything's
put
a
it out.
double
Everything,
album.
Everything needs to go out.
goes out.
Okay.
And he's not. He's more like that perfection. He's like, is this right? Is this like we have some songs that we were sitting on for years, and I'm like, we got to release these. People
Same.
need to hear them.
Same.
So
yeah, we have so much stuff that are just I don't know. So many things that we have songs that are just finished.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that just we can't release it, you know, because I feel like that because I like that mentality of like I created it.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, a lot of this has to do with what you do music for, right? And when you do it for yourself and you're not doing it for other people, then you you don't think about you're not thinking about marketing. You're not thinking about stuff like that. You're like, dude, this is something I made.
Yeah.
It means something to me. I'm going to put it out because this is what it is. Sure, it could be better. Sure, it could be worse, you know, but this is what it was at that time. And I appreciate that.
yeah.
But then there's also like an obsession to try to make sure that you're, you know, that you don't have a regret. Because when we have songs we've made where it was just like a bad ad lib or just like a part that was too loud or something that we just didn't take enough time to go through it. And then we're listening to it, you know, even like a year later and you're like, oh God, I wish we would have just went in there and fucking put it, you know,
Just fix that.
just fix that one part. I mean, you're always going to be more critical.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't notice that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess and you guys probably balance each other out pretty well being like, yo, let's, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we probably get on each other's nerves every once in a while back in the day because he'd be like, it's not ready. And I'd be like, what the fuck's your problem? Like, what's wrong with it? Tell me, what's wrong? Do you
Point it
not
out.
like, yeah. When he's
he's
like,
like, I don't
he's
know.
like, no, it's just, and we communicate a little differently. So I'm very much like, we got to settle this now. We got to figure this out. And he's more like, no, we don't.
Yeah. Because then a lot of it's like, I know there's something wrong with it. I don't know exactly what it is yet, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes that ear trying to decipher what it is that you're hearing that is just kind of making it off a little bit. Because there's something about a record when you listen to it and it sounds perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not even your record. It's somebody else's. Like, you just hear a song and you're just like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah, nothing can make it better.
It's pleasurable to the ear, right? And, you know, I think as artists, that's what we're trying to do with music, is that we just want to make sure that when the person's listening to it, that hook sounds the way we envisioned it, and that they're going to receive it that way. Yeah. I think the worst thing about being an artist is feeling misrepresented. So if you do a show with really, really bad sound, but your record is really, really good, you're just like, oh, I just got misrepresented. Yeah. You guys think I'm trash, but this sound, like my mic's not on. Yeah. It's cutting in and out. You know, it sounds like I'm, you know, but I'm, you know, we killing it right now. Yeah. So that's happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember a show. We were either pretty close to the headline area. So like, and you know, Spokane, the problem they do with their shows, or used to, I don't know how much it is now, is fucking 12 different performances on one show. Yeah. And it's like, so by the time, you know, everybody's, and everybody's entourages have performed, and, you know, some people bring up 7 people and they're all crossing the wires. And then by the time we get up there, me and Arnold would step like 5 feet apart from each other and like it would unplug, or we step it on each other's mics. And yeah, it's always tough. And Mike never goes to sound check on one. He never goes to sound check. That always sucked too.
I didn't even know what a sound check was back in those days.
Yeah. And it's like, and it can be important, depending on the venue, I guess. You know, some you need to go because you need to know what you're going to sound like.
I think you just always need to go. But I've also found that you can check it while you're up there.
Yeah.
You can just check it.
Yeah.
Like, I always kind of felt pressured a little bit. And now I'm like, well, just when you get up there, you know, take your time.
Yeah.
Look at that mic cord. Yeah. Unwrap it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, hey guys, what's up? Like, having a personal moment with the audience is like so valuable.
Yeah.
Because in a world where everybody's trying to be so fake and they're trying to fucking make the image look so, you know, however they're trying to make it, when you're just vulnerable and you're just like, whoa, man, this is a mess. What do we do? You know, the audience is like, oh shit, like we're having a moment right here.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching Sun Real at the Bartlett, and the dude just forgot a lyric, and it was just like a, you know, when it's like a bigger artist and they're just like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And it didn't hinder his performance. It actually added to it.
Yeah, it made it more genuine.
Yeah, and then he just said, run that shit back, did it again, and like, it was just it would have been, you know, not as cool without it.
Yeah, which is funny because like that's my biggest fear and always has been. Like, what if I mess up on my own lyrics? And I'm like thinking it'd be the worst thing in the world. But then you hear something like that, you're like, no, it would just be authentic. It would be. And yeah, it's tough. You know, everybody always wishes they knew then what they know now, or felt like that confidence, something like that. Because everything, like you said, was just fake. It was trying to make it portrayed in a different aspect, where it's like, if we just be ourselves, be more comfortable with ourselves, we get way much more accomplished.
It leads back to those cliche, you know, quotes and stuff. Like, be yourself.
Yeah, when they just make sense finally, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, because you're the whole time, you know, it's crazy how information, it's right there, right? And sometimes we intake it and we don't digest it, or it just like goes in and out, you know, rather than some things like there's things that you've known for a long time that you didn't really understand until just now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, man, because I mean, somebody can literally tell you, like your parents can tell you, your friends can tell you, like, hey, don't do this, man. Like, I did this. It was fucked up. Yeah. And you're just like, all right, cool. Yeah, whatever. And then you just end up doing it. Yeah. And it's like, bro, I told you. You're like,
no, my son is going to be 13 in a couple weeks, and I'm doing the same shit with him. I'm like, listen to me. And no, he's got to figure it out on his own. He thinks I'm stupid. He thinks
the
I
head's
don't
just
understand.
Moving. You're thinking... So trying to find, because I'm really into psychology and wanting to understand why people think, and the best way to kind of deliver things to a kid or a friend, or whether it can be a lot of different situations in how to talk to people and how to handle a situation. And I've never really thought that like violence and getting angry and people screaming and things like that were ever like conducive to like a good working relationship, which you just got to understand people. And I guess kids, like I remember being a kid too, and people telling me a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, yeah.
Away with you.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
I got this.
I got this.
Yeah.
I'm basically a grown up. So.
And man, you wanted to be grown up so fast, and it's like when you're telling your kid like, enjoy it, dude. You're 13.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, bro. I'm 33. Being 13 was badass. Yeah. It was a weird time. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
But it was a good time, man, because you're living at your parents' house. You're fucking playing video games. You're chilling. You're going and hanging out with your friends. You think school sucks, but you're getting to go hang out and meet all these people, and
But it's different now. These kids aren't doing that like we used to. Now it's Snapchats and Instagram and meet me online so we could play what's that, Fortnite for 6 hours.
Bro, they got to just take the phone. Like I feel like every school should just be like, all right, drop your phones in the fucking bag and
but the problem
get to
is
class.
You got all these parents that throw fits like, no, I need to be able to get a hold of my child. Or
Well, ever since the school shootings and the crazy shit like that, I guess I understand.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough, yeah, because it's like, there's kids that are like in a situation and they're able to call somebody and they're able to videotape this and and I don't know, man. But it's also like kids just Snapchatting at school. It can be a weird, it's a whole new world of all the things that happen in high schools. And I mean, kids have phones in elementary school now.
Yeah. My daughter is in second grade, and she's asking already. I'm like, no, fuck no. You're not getting a fucking phone. Like, it's not. I didn't even want my son to have one until he started middle school, and then we tried it out, I think 6th grade, and he fucked it off so many times we took it away.
So why isn't it just like, okay, check it out. You guys can have your flip phone at school.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. You can make your phone call. We'll give you your Apple Watch. Okay. That's it. That's all you get. I don't know. Like just being able to make the phone call, but the distraction, bro. I fucking hated school. Yeah. So like I hope school has changed. I've talked about this on the podcast a lot too about school, but I just hope school's changed where they just start fucking teaching kids things they're interested in, and then kids will pay attention. Yeah. Teach the kids fucking social media. Then make that a class.
Yeah, right.
Like if this is something that kids are getting, making money on, make video games a fucking class.
Yeah.
Like who are we kidding? Like we just everybody needs to be a doctor and all this shit. Like some people are going to take that path, but it's like, dude, and maybe that's like older folks that don't understand still. Oh, video games as a class? What? Yeah, there's people making millions of dollars playing video games.
Yeah.
This is real life. I don't know what news site they're not covering that on, but there's kids that are making millions of dollars playing video games.
Or if they had a podcast class, like, okay, kids, we're going to have a school podcast, or we're gonna, anything like that to get them engaged, because it doesn't work. And I actually just spoke to a guy recently. He's a veteran, and he was talking about his kind of time coming up, and he went to prison and then took the time in prison to get a little education. And he said that he had severe ADHD, but while he was working towards it, he realized that he could really lock in on books and absorbing knowledge. And so he got out and got a scholarship to a university or something. And because of his ADHD, I think we couldn't stay focused for too long on what he was trying to get away. But he just was very persistent on. I have proof, and I know that they try to make you hate education from a young age. He's like, do you ever have a time where you remember you loved school for the education of it? And I was like, no, not at all. And my son, no, he hates it with a passion. He only wants to go to see his friends. Yeah. And that's it. And or if it does, it's like a temporary experimental class. Like my son was in a guitar class, and we find out that that's just temporary because somebody funded it for a little while to see how it went, rather than English or history where it's just locked in and everybody hates it, right? Well, this guy says, he's like, no, you think about it. They're trying to control us, right? They want to keep, and what's the best way to control somebody? Keep them stupid. Mm-hmm. And so he said, the best way to keep you stupid is to make you hate educating yourself So we're not taking it away from you. We make it attainable, but it's a pain in the ass to do. It's going to break your pockets, and it's going to be boring as shit. So you stay stupid.
It's boring.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But you'll learn things that you really want to learn.
Yeah.
You'll want to get into it. You know. Yeah. The podcast thing. That's funny, man. Because just kids learning. I think podcasts are great because I think that kids learning to communicate with each other in a face to face. Like, you don't have a phone.
Yeah.
You're not on your phone when you're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
So like still that's probably more important than ever to get that into school, to be able to have some type of thing where I'm sure they have like some after school stuff, but can we make history like, 15 minutes long? Yeah. Like just teach us the really, really important shit every day, 15 minutes. All right. And then let's learn some shit that's really going to help us in the future.
Yeah.
Because you got to be interested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
I hated school so much. I would just leave, bro. Like you said, I would go there, and this is what happens. It's like when you're in elementary, you're in junior high, when you get into high school, you start to like become wiser to the fact that you're like, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, I could just.
Yeah. What's going to happen?
Oh, I could just leave.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all leave? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Fuck this then. Yeah. I hate this. You know. You kind of just grow out of it, and I think that's like the developmental period where it's like, okay, you just need to be like, listen, I know you're just gonna do whatever the fuck you want to do. So here, let's get you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Football, baseball, podcast, guitar. What do you like?
Exactly.
Yeah,
because I got to experience a couple of different fun things with school. When I went to Wisconsin, I was a senior. That's where I did and it was a whole different ball game going from. I went to North Central here, and I would skip every class all the time. I don't know how I did it. My junior year, I had it figured out to where I only had like 3 classes a day. And then I would just sit around the halls or fucking around and like trying to escape the fucking school officer who was always on my ass, like.
Yeah, the officer, man, he was always prowling.
Yeah.
He or she. I think there was a lady and a dude at the schools I went to.
I smoked weed on the bleachers, fucking walk across 7-Eleven, just buy every taquito they had available, and that was how I spent my days, right? And
Those
then,
were good days.
Yeah, they were great, but then I go to Wisconsin, you're not allowed to leave. They say no offsite lunch, no exiting the building.
Closed campus and shit.
They're like, we don't have weed.
Yeah, I'm like, but I was, 17, that wasn't going to work for me, especially where I came from. So, but I was just a fucking wreck over there. It was like to the moment of like, I'm pissed off. I need to leave. I threw a teacher on the ground when I was out there, and nothing really happened to me though, which was just a whole.
You threw a teacher on the ground?
Yeah, because he got in my way when I was trying to leave class, and I just wasn't having it. And because
fuck that.
Yeah, and
they didn't punish you. They said no, we'll leave it be.
He ended up apologizing, believe it or not. But it was like I said, a very different experience. There was only a few native cats that went to this school, and one kid that was like half black, and then you had me, and I was the only senior that was a minority at the time, possibly. And they just had I didn't have enough credits to graduate out there, and so they said, and I was like, well, there's no way in hell I'm coming back for a second year of high school, especially when I'm an adult. I'm 17 now, I have to come here, okay, but I'm not coming back at 18. Well, they ended up working it out because they said it would look good if they had a minority graduate. And saying,
of course.
What?
And so they said, as long as you pass all your classes, they didn't tell me this. They told my dad that. And
wow.
So he came to me. He said, as long as you pass all your classes, they said they'll work with you and let you graduate because of this. And I was like, okay, cool. Never had this work like this for me before. Let's try it, And so it seemed like they were trying to do anything they could to keep me going. But, I was smoking cigarettes already at that time. So if I wanted to go have a cigarette, they're like, you can't leave. And I was like, the hell I can't. What are you going to do?
Damn, bro. Smoking a lot of cigarettes back in the day, bro. 17, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, they only cost like $2.50 out there for a pack at that time.
Wow.
So cheap.
$2.50 for a pack of cigarettes?
Yeah. And these are Newports, at the most, like $3 probably for it was ridiculous. And now I'm out here
cigarettes are pretty
10.
tough, man. I the Seahawks lost in the playoffs, and I went. I was like, my buddy had a cigarette. I was like, I want to smoke a cigarette. And I smoked a cigarette. And I was like, whoa, shit, I was not prepared, bro. I was like 3 hits in, like, whoa, I feel weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you smoke cigarettes all the time, how you don't feel that way.
Yeah.
You feel normal.
Yeah.
But when you haven't smoked a cigarette at all, and then you try one, it's like, it fucks you up.
Yeah. No, I watched this long video when I tried to quit once, and it was like, watch this video, it'll change your life. And it was talking, they had like a little cartoon monster. There's like, every time you take a hit, it feeds that monster. It was just a weird one, but it was like the same thing.
Fucking weird. Bro.
Yeah, but they're like, if you continue to smoke, you're just constantly feeding the monster. It's not so hungry. But if you don't smoke for a while, and then that feeling you get just explodes because he's like, oh yeah, I'm back. And every time they said you feed it, he just gets bigger and stronger. So the longer you smoke, blah blah blah. I think I quit for like 3 weeks, and I was feeling good.
You still smoke?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Have you tried like hypnotism?
No, I haven't, but my grandfather did that. He said he swears by it. He said that's what helped him.
Really?
Yeah, he smoked for like 40 years, and he hasn't smoked in, gosh, probably 20, 25 years now or something
Hypnotism.
like that. Yeah.
Man. Dude, there's a guy that came in to my work yesterday and he did magic.
Yeah?
Yeah. Maybe he could do like some, I'm like, dude, do a spell, man. Like, help me become more motivated to do things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I need something.
Yeah, it's tough. It's so tough to kick that because they're so accepted. Like the more I think about quitting is the more I hear people talk about how gross they are, or the more people I hear talk about how the smell makes them sick. Because when you smoke so long, you forget what it smells like. You don't realize you smell like garbage all the time, or food doesn't taste as good.
Become
but you're
immune
used
to it.
Yeah. And then like during that 3 weeks, not a very long time, but during that time when I stopped, I got into a car that I had sat in many, many times that people smoked in, and it smelled like when you go into those like cigar rooms at the mall, and it's just so overwhelming, powerful. Like I was like, this can't be how this has always smelled. This is how I always smell. Like, no way.
You just don't. Yeah, I think it's kind of nostalgic.
Yeah.
For me, when someone sparks up a cigarette in the car, I always be like, yeah, you know, because like my aunt used to smoke in the car. And shit. So you just like, you know, even though it's not, you don't want to smell it all the time because you will get a little headache.
Yeah.
But that scent can still be delightful in a way for me to like kind of, when somebody else is smoking, it'll bring me back to being a little kid in the car riding around in the Honda Prelude. Yeah. You know,
those memories, man.
Yeah. To this day, if I exhale through my nostrils, it takes me back to sitting around bonfires on the reservation in Wisconsin. And I haven't been there in so long, but every time I exhale out my nose, that's where I'm at. And it's so
cool.
weird.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I try not to overdo it, but whenever I do, I just know, and it just feel like I'm sitting there all over again.
That's cool because it's probably that smell and that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so you're where we stopped? We stopped at 2012, and then you stopped making music for a little bit, right?
Yeah. We had gotten through that, I believe. That's when me and Mike on one started working on Eat, Breathe, Live. I got Another Rose in the Concrete. And then I put Our Season to Bloom and Unwatered Seeds. And me and P did Pine Trees and Pesos.
Bro, how many songs is that right there? Out of what he just said.
It's so many. I've got his Bandcamp pulled up.
Please
I didn't even know I was on Pine Trees and Pesos. Me and J5 got Champion of My Zone on there.
What?
I didn't even know that was a thing. Jay never told me he was what album that was going on. I thought that was his shit. So already just Another Rose in the Concrete, we got 28 tracks. Then we go to Pine Trees and Pesos, and that is 25 tracks. And then we go to Unwatered Seeds. Are we ready for Unwatered Seeds? 69 tracks.
So that's 53 plus 69. So that's like 115.
Yeah,
18.
and then Our Season to Bloom, 28 tracks. So we're already at like 150 songs.
150 tracks. And what is the span of the time here?
Well, so Another Rose in the Concrete shows on here that it was May 5th of 2012.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was...
And so
that was before. Okay, so that was right before you dropped
Eat, Breathe, Live.
Eat, Breathe,
Live. Okay.
But even still, bro, those albums that I just mentioned in the span that they go on the Bandcamp, at least, like our Season to Bloom was December of 2012. So all this music, I mean, I'm sure it was worked on prior to that, but it all came out in like 6-7 months.
Yeah. All of it? 150 songs?
Yeah, I wasn't playing at the time. I mean, like I said, I would book 12-hour sessions, and didn't have to pay very much for it. So it was like, that's just how I was wired. Life was music.
How's the process for you? Do you write in the studio or?
No, generally when I like to spend my time in the studio just recording, banging it out. And gosh, it's different for me now. Now I'm a family man. Now I got to career that I'm working at. So it's different. Back then, it was just sit in the basement where I had everything in my whole life and just drink and write nonstop. Now it's a little bit more strategic on how to plan it out and figure out where I can have some peace and quiet, or learning how to write around chaos, which is always tough, but needed sometimes.
But at the same time, it's like you're getting a lot. You're intaking a lot.
Yeah.
With your family, your career, struggles, successes, which gives you more to...
Yeah. And it brings a different perspective. So I'm not, I mean, you hear about the songs I was doing when I was a teenager to now, very different, you know, going from, I was never in a gang, but I had affiliations with quite a few and people that were in them. So it was like everything back in the day was streets and guns and gangster shit. And now it's more adult struggles, family, my kids, you know.
What was that one with the women on the pole, though, with Big P, bro?
Watch Her Go?
Yeah, that's my shit, bro. That's just fire. Yeah. That's the one I fuck with, bro, the most. Yeah, Watch Her Go, dude.
Yeah. I know, like, and I don't have a huge following probably because I've left it so many times. You know, I never stayed consistent, or I left Facebook for like 7 years, and then was really happy on Instagram, but then got off that for a while and came back, and I just trying to figure out how to make it work, but I don't have a whole lot of like Facebook friends or Facebook likes or anything like that. So like when I share something, it's like a couple people reach by it, and then
Facebook.
Yeah, and then but then Cordell hits me up, right, and he's like, "Hey, bro, can I share that song?" And I'm like, "Oh yes, please do." And then all of a sudden it's like 130 views that day, and I'm like, God, you know, it's like whole different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I got rid of Facebook a long time ago. I don't like Facebook. It just gets like Facebook, like all the social medias are actually pretty cool when they first start. Twitter is probably one of the sites that's been, you know, pretty cool still. Yeah. They keep it pretty cool still, you know. They haven't like tightened up and gotten crazy, but too crazy. But Instagram, Facebook ruined Instagram. Yeah. First of all, because I was on Instagram, you know, obviously 2012 when it first came out, which was a way different thing, and learning how to market. And I wish I knew more. Like, you know, I wish I knew then what I know now, obviously. But you would follow people, and people will follow you, and then you know, I wasn't really engaging with the people like I should have been, but it was like the Wild West of just kind of trying to figure out how to like get people to listen to your music back then, trying to like send links to people. Like, check me out. And obviously now in the culture we're in now, it's like that kind of shit's like, ooh. Yeah.
It's oversaturated. So
don't send me a fucking link. If someone sends you a link, you're like, that's spam. Yeah. You know, that's some fucking,
and that's what I'm learning, right? Like I said, I don't have too many Facebook friends, so most of them I really personally know. And I got this new single that I released, which I was nervous about because I'm kind of singing, and it's a love song. And so I was like, you know, I need some input on this. So I sent it to like probably 30 or 40 females that I knew. And then out of that, people I actually know, only like 15 of them respond. And I'm like, what the hell? You know, but I'm like, God, they're probably so sick of this, you know. But I was like, but I know you. Like, do me a favor. Yeah. And then some of the other ones were like, what are you looking for here? And so I'm explaining. They're like, oh, okay. And then luckily got, you know, a good amount of them to respond with good feedback and things like that. But
as long as people understand that you're like, hey, give me negative feedback. Yeah. Like, it's not going to benefit me if you're just going to tell me what I want to hear. Yeah. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Please tell me. Yeah. So that way you can, like, I want that female perspective. That's what you're trying to get. Yeah. Because you know that's going to be more probably the demographic who's going to enjoy that type of music.
Well, yeah, and for me, like I said, getting to know the new digital age, like Spotify has like the spread of like who you're reaching or who your audience is. So I found out I had only 12% female audience, and I was like, that's not good because females kind of run the show on what music's gonna be played. That's the drug, you know?
Bro, for real.
Yeah. That's so fucking true, bro.
And so I was kind of,
that's so fucking true.
Yeah, I was like, I need to figure out how to reach them a little bit more because obviously they don't want to listen to a grown man talking about being a drunk asshole all the time, which is 90% of my music is talking about being a fucking drunk, you know?
Yeah, where's the song that they're gonna put on in the car and jam out to? Yeah.
And so that's where I try to put out things like Tattooed Chicks or Watch Her Go, or this new one called Forbidden Fruit. You know, it's like trying to get them into a grasp a little bit more, but I think it went up to 13% now. Female audience.
You're on the way, bro.
Yeah.
You're on the way.
Yo, I truly believe that this right here is going to be, this is the right way for people to find out who you are, what you're all about, you know, where your music's at, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, fuck sending a link. Like, someone is going to find it organically, they're going to go check you out, and then they're going to follow you and click, you know, the like button because they fuck with it and not because they feel obligated in any other way. Yeah. And that's all we want. We just want organic growth and people who really are interested. I don't want you to follow me on Instagram so I can have X amount of followers. Yeah. I want you to follow me on Instagram because you really enjoy the content that I put out and the stories I post and the shows that we put on and that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I hate that follow for follow.
Like, it's disingenuous. I even saw on Facebook someone was trying to like lull people into it. So he basically posted, you know, looking for new music, post your YouTube links or whatever. So, you know, he like, and it sounded like someone genuinely wanting to get put onto some new shit. Yeah. And then I like went into the comments to see how many people posted their YouTube link, and on every single one he was like, "Hey man, I'll follow you if you follow my shit." It's like, bro, you're not.
I think I saw that or one similar to it recently too. Like, that's why I got excited because I put a YouTube link on one like that recently, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, you're also just trying to get the exchange.
It was never about you legitimately wanting to find new music or get put on.
Here's the wisdom for all the artists out there. Just because they follow you doesn't mean they're going to engage with your content.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the truth. You see people all the time who have, you know, 15,000 followers that get 80 likes.
Yeah, no
and you're
engagement.
like, well, what's up with that, right? So you have this big number, and this is where you learn the marketing that, you know, you just, the key to it is just to make good shit. You know how much stuff we do through our art and just being ourselves that never gets recorded, that would be gold, that people would love to see, but they don't see it because you're not quick to grab the camera and selfie it out, or hey man, hey, film this for me,
right?
Or, let's do it again.
That's almost cringe these days. Is to you created a moment, here, let's recreate the moment.
Try hard.
Yeah. For people to be, exactly, to always film me. I got to have someone around me filming me all the time. Like, oh, you're a pretentious prick. Yeah. Fucking, oh, you need to be filmed. Oh, you're going on a photo shoot. Yeah. Ooh. You know, and, but that's actually where we're at in the world, is that you really do need to be on your phone because it actually has value in bringing people to a show where somebody would find out who you are because you did a video and they stumbled across it and then ended up being free that night, came through with a friend, and then, you know, now they listen to your music all the time because, you know, just because the internet is there. Yeah. And I like Gary Vee, and he says, like, Instagram and all this shit, it's free. So, you know, we can't, it's just free. Like back in the day, you had to pay NBC, you had to pay ABC, you had to do all these, you know, there's all these gatekeepers and things. And now we just have these free apps that's just, you know, we can shoot a shot and miss 60 times and then hit one time. Yeah. You got to hit one time, really, if you think about it. Yeah. Like people will, Lil Nas X, he hit one time.
One time.
That's all it takes.
I mean, it was
Country
big.
Road
guy.
Yeah, Old Town Road. Said he was in his room just making music by himself for like 2 weeks. Came out like a joke song, like The Lotion, bro, and just hit.
I told this guy we just got to make jokes on. Just have fun and just create things that really hit your soul, you know, and be yourself. And you're gonna eventually. And Gary Vee also says that you just have to have patience. He said that's the thing that everybody lacks. Is just the patience to know, hey, if I just stay consistent and I continue to grow and get better,
it'll get there.
It's gonna come.
It's that 10,000 hours, man. I mean, look at who you're talking to. How many songs do you think you've done lifetime?
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. Wow. All of them released.
I
mean, I've probably gone through almost 250.
I probably had 6 projects pre MySpace, Facebook, Spotify days.
Ooh, right. Pre MySpace.
That was like actual discs being handed out to people, which I don't even know if I have anymore. Like, so
discs.
That old
What's a
fashioned
disc?
out the trunk
A disc is like the new record.
disc.
It's like a disc.
You have discs?
That's like an 8-track, like a disc. Like, can I put that on my PlayStation?
Yeah.
Right. The crazy thing about that, though, I mean, if you find people that have cars that still have CD players in them, nobody else has discs. So if you have a CD and you hook someone up with it, that'll be the only CD in their car for years.
Yeah.
They'll
I've
never
had that a
take it
lot
out.
actually, where people are like, "Dude, it hasn't left my CD player
Yeah.
in years because they literally don't have anything to replace it with."
Exactly.
Smart.
But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Corner of the market.
Every time I listen to you, I think about my commute. I don't know.
Yeah, we should just start selling tapes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame. Like my vehicles don't even have CD players in them. So
But why do you need a CD player when you can Bluetooth right to it, pull up your Spotify, pick a song, play anything, anytime,
because if I want to listen to On One's new album, I have to have a CD player. He won't release it anywhere else. He's an asshole.
I fucking respect the fuck out of that.
I respect it.
Because, now I'm not going to say that I'm not going to be fucking pissed at On One for not fucking posting it when I want to listen to it. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, he's forcing me to say, well, you want it that bad?
Yeah.
Come and get it.
Out.
Yeah. Come and get it.
Yeah. Yeah. My problem is I'll buy it on iTunes.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm not going, you're going to buy, if I buy a CD, I'm going to like put it right here.
Yeah.
Like it's not even going to come out of the wrapping.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to play the CD, bro.
Right. It's a It's more of a collector's type thing. It's
I'm buying it to support the person. I like the art on it, but like, so he doesn't put anything on Spotify.
No, he does. It's just this new one. He's being what's that word? Stubborn.
Exclusive.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
could say
That's a
exclusive
more positive
the
way to
nice
put
way.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I like maybe definitely holding off and letting people go after it, and then.
I don't know if I'd have that kind of commitment, honestly. Like, I'd at least still put it up for digital download or something.
Wait, he's got a new album out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
Good
dropped it
Afternoon, America.
How long's it been out?
A couple months now.
It wasn't out when I had him on, right?
No,
It was probably about to come out or something.
it came out, I think, literally the next day.
Oh, okay. So we talked about it. So that's the one.
Well, no, he was talking to you. The album that he had on him that he was talking to you about was Frame of Reference. So he was still talking about
that Frame of Reference. Fire.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And you want to know what's crazy? You can't even get information about Good Afternoon America on the internet because it's physical copies only.
Yeah.
I can't look anything up about it.
Yeah.
On One, please. We need your music online.
We got to go find the man.
I gotta find you. That's a lot of work.
You got to dap him up. That's the only way you're getting that album, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I hope you've been working on a lot of new music.
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to come back good. I think this will be my last big hoorah at the album, like for this many tracks. And I think after that, I'll start working on just like singles and a little bit more collaborations. And maybe me and On One have been trying to do a follow-up to Eat, Breathe, Live for years.
Yeah.
And we need to do that.
Just trying to organize it.
Yeah, and it's really just been about trying to figure out what direction we want to go, how many tracks we want to focus on. He wants to try to get some different kind of vibes than we're used to doing. So we were gonna call it Last Call, because at that point we were kind of like, let's give it one more, not to be all Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious, one last ride. But, yeah, but it was like
It's actually kind of giving me like a rain cloud.
Right,
Yeah.
a little bit. Just
and then but then he released like 2 projects since then, and I came back to do this, and we're like, okay, well, we don't have to be dramatic about it. Maybe it's not our last call. Maybe it's just let's do a new project, see how it goes.
You guys aren't old.
No, but we're getting to that point where it's just not so much about the age, but the efforts and the time. How much can we put into it?
It costs a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, and,
People don't understand how much it costs.
it's crazy. I see you've been doing the singles though. I mean, what you got 6, 7 singles out just in the last couple months. It looks like.
I think 12.
Yeah, it's at least.
Some of them are older.
How'd
like
you?
the Lotion.
I gotta ask. How'd you link up with John Ward?
From your guys' podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Saw that, and I was like, I love this guy's energy. I think I followed him on Instagram. I was like, hey,
Dude's got
you can't
charisma
not
to
love this
spare.
guy.
I love this guy,
So
dude.
reached out to him, and he was just absolutely positive and willing. So yeah, it was cool.
Shout out John.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dope
hopefully
people.
we're getting him up here in the next month.
Yeah. His new mixtape, I loved it.
Yeah, that cassette 94, man.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, dude, it was like short and very sweet.
Yeah,
very sweet. I liked Dana's Peak.
Yeah.
I think we was like, you got one titty, you take
Another
another
titty. Put them together. Now you got a super titty.
Yeah, it was a super titty. Yeah.
That super titty energy.
I love that.
Love that, bro.
The dude is it's all about bringing a feeling to whoever's listening. And to me, he brings just a fun, carefree, loving, and very smooth feeling.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy it. I can just put it on. The guy, when you're physically around the guy, you can just, the dude just smiles.
It's infectious,
all
bro.
the time.
It's infectious. It brings a real youthful energy, and it just it's
a youthful energy. That's a good.
Bro,
that's a good choice
it's
of words.
invigorating. It is. You don't really get that many people around you in life.
No.
Yeah, no, he's like a different breed in a very good way.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate.
So
that.
what was that song called that you guys had?
Not Today.
Not Today.
Yeah.
You guys have another one, don't you?
Well, hopefully. He's supposed to be doing some additional vocals for Forbidden Fruit. He didn't make my deadline at the time, so I released a single without him to see the response. Like I said, trying to get the female audience up. Hopefully he'll get it to me, and we could put it on the actual album, because I think he'd add a really nice vibe to it.
Nice.
I think collaboration is the key, dude, and that's what I like about you, man. Is that you pick like your favorite artist in town, and you're like, I'm gonna do a song with you. I'm gonna do a song with you. I'm gonna do a song with you.
Yeah, and it's been beautiful because like when I was heavy in the music here in town,
Game.
Yeah, music game.
Heavy in the game.
It was very easy to get so many collabs because I was always working with people and always talking about like, let's do a track. When I came back, I was nervous. I was like, is anybody going to give a shit about who I am or who I was or that I'm trying to do this again? Because I kind of felt like I just abandoned it and I just took off, but I got nothing but warm welcomes from everybody I hit up. So that was really nice. Great feeling to have and have so many people respond and want to work and be a part of the project.
So what are the recent singles you dropped? You dropped that one, Watch Her Go, and then name.
I've got them here. So after those two you just mentioned, we got The Joker featuring Dickles of Brain Sick Music. We've got The Grind Part 2 with Big P.
Oh yeah, that one is dope.
I love when motherfuckers can bring Big P out for a verse, man. He doesn't do that a whole lot. I think you're probably one of the few that could get him to be
Big P put that damn nasty, came out of the woodwork with a little nasty Instagram post.
Yeah, that was a nice verse he was spitting.
Yeah, it was a nice
clean,
one with the crooked grill.
With the crooked grill, yeah, of course.
Through, bro.
We got Bars with Z and Dickles from Brain Sick. We got Better Days featuring C-Ray.
Yeah, that one was dope.
We got what is this? A HQ 4K HDR update of the lotion with On One. You just finally dropping that as a single?
Yeah, it was kind of a test run because On One said like we should get Eat Breathe Live on Spotify, and I was like, I don't know if we can. I don't know if we got all the beats cleared, and he swears we do. So I was like, well, let me put a couple of these out first and see if we get any.
Yeah.
Because my original The Joker track got kicked off Spotify.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, because I used a clip from the movie in the intro.
Oh, damn.
And it was up for probably a month, and then I get a email from the legal team at CD Baby. Yeah, saying you need to provide proof you have rights to this. And me and On One love using movie quotes in our songs. And so making it a little nervous, but
fuck Spotify then, bro. Just put that shit on SoundCloud.
Right. Well, that's why we stuck with Bandcamp. No restrictions, but we're like, we know every person that's ever heard Eat Breathe Live just fucking loved it, and they want more of it. So we're like, we need to get it to the masses.
People do want it more accessible to the listening service that they're using now.
Yeah,
I get that.
And it looks like you also put something out. I didn't know. You got Janelle to do a little collab. Is that new or is that from the vault?
Yeah.
Graceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that on there?
Yeah, Graceland's
nice.
on the Bandcamp.
On Bandcamp. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Bandcamp pulled up,
Yeah.
and then I'll Be Around with On One and Falling with On One and Pest the Menace.
These aren't
That's
the
from
new
Eat
ones,
Breathe
though.
Live. Yeah.
These are all old, right?
Yeah. I'll Be Around is new.
No. Okay,
the Lotion and Falling is old.
Yeah, they're
Graceland
old.
is older.
It looks like they're just now added to Bandcamp, though. I think you were saying, you're just testing the waters with a couple of them.
Yeah, so on Spotify and Apple and all those ones, I know Forbidden Fruit was the newest one. Watch Her Go, The Joker, Got Bars, The Grind Part 2, Better Days. And then I got a couple other new ones. I'm not sure if I want to hold out because that's my problem. I always want to release. I don't want to sit on it. I'm just always like, God,
So what about like a music video for like one of these songs or something?
I'd love to. I actually hit up Chris recently to talk to him about if he'd be willing to sit down about a music video idea I have, because another release, actual Struggle Breeds Greatness, I just released, and I know he's into the fight game and all that. So my cousin, he's a boxer, so I'm like, I visualized him when I wrote this song. It's all about like being the angel and the devil on the shoulders, of like saying you can do this, you got this, versus give up, you ain't shit. And I was just like, I have this vision of him like training and getting it done. So, but for me, it's always about, I don't know many videographers, I think that's what they're called, like who to work with or who's available or who. A couple people I've talked to over the years, they charge like thousands of dollars, and I'm like, I don't have that. There's no way. And then I talked to some other people like, oh, I'll do it for free. And that's almost more scary. You're like,
yeah, I think that those people are out there, dude. And this is exactly why I want to do this podcast, because I'm going to have some videographers on, so that way you can find them and be able to connect with them, because there are some very good videographers or even photographers that shoot video that aren't rap videos. Oh, okay. I think that's actually even a better idea. Is work with somebody who does landscapes and different. Maybe even just does like weddings or things like that. And it's like, oh yeah. I mean, we had Ivan shoot our video. The dude had never shot a video before ever, but he's done like, all sorts
like
of other
interview
professional
videos and just like, just different.
He had other professional work with the video camera, but had never done a music video, and it came out great. It's almost like, I feel like want to work with somebody who doesn't want to who's not trying to do a rap video. Like, I shoot rap video. Like, dude, don't do weird.
They all
shit.
look the same if you do that.
And Real Vlogs. Shout out to Real Vlogs.
Real Vlogs.
That dude
Carlos
is fucking solid, man. Oh, okay. And TS put us onto him, and he was fucking dude. He did the roadmaps video, and the dude like just from top to bottom takes the first seconds of everything. It just goes through. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30, a minute, goes through the whole video and maps out exactly what you're trying to see. And you guys just go through the whole thing. And when you go to shoot it, it's just much easier that way. So I think organization's key. When you have somebody that's really, you got to pay people, I feel like, because you never want somebody to do it for free, because then they're just going to, I'll work on it when I work on it.
That's been a bad experience. You have no leverage to say, hey, can we get this done, or can we do it this way, or any.
They're just like, I'm doing you a favor. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that are real genuine with that. But yeah, I really, even if somebody wants it to do it for free, I want to pay you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, dude, you're doing a service here. Yeah, exactly. Okay? I want to pay you for your time, at least for your time to be there. But I think videos are huge, man. I think that having a YouTube presence and having a cool, just content that's visual that people can enjoy. Because myself, I'm swiping up on Instagram every day, and I'm looking for cool, fun, visually stimulating things. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more into it. Me and Anwar were talking about one from Frame of Reference, doing a video for our track off that.
That was his project, right?
Yeah.
You guys have a track on that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Drifting. Yeah. So we're talking about that, and then hopefully I can get something worked out with the Struggle Breeds Greatness, because it's all about the people, and because that was a big thing for me. The person who shot my last video is the reason I stepped away from music again for a while, because they fucked me over, and I was like, I just can't take this. When you think people are your friends, they're in your circle, and then they do you wrong. It's like, so now I'm very more recluse with it, I guess. Where it's like not out and about. I want to go to shows, I want to go mingle, but I just don't. It's because I don't want to get too back involved yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you should. I think you should go out to the Lucky You Lounge. Shout out to the Lucky You Lounge.
Hey.
They're just cool as fuck, and their venue is super dope, and there's just like a lot of really cool people that you can meet there.
Their food is awesome too. I went and had a burger there about a week ago. Fucking incredible.
Oh, their food, that's not amazing. Lucky's. That's a different place.
Lucky You. So this is the Bartlett closed down, and then they opened a new spot called Lucky You Lounge, and it's right across the street, like in that arterial or whatever from
Rosars, right there in Browns.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Over there.
Yeah, right in that little, it's like a little island spot. And they have like an upstairs and then they have like a downtown, like a, or
Downstairs. It's like a speakeasy in the basement.
like a speakeasy.
It's like an old fashioned,
Oh, okay.
like
And
underground bar.
Man, that place, it's very cool, man. And I just think that there's a lot of new people and you have a lot of music out. So the best way, I think, for you to get more people, get more people eyes on that music is to just go out there and network with other musicians, whether that's just like, drummers and just people that do funk and people that just play guitar. Because the more you can incorporate the real instruments and things like that, I think that's what me, you, it's probably what we all like to see live. Is when somebody comes out, they're about to spit some bars and some funky guitar comes on and then a beat comes on and being able to really create something right there is so much really moving past, because when you thought about Spokane rap, you would think just, oh yeah, you got that from allaroundabeats.com. Right. All around
Purchase
beats.
your tracks today.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just there's not a lot of artistry in it. It's like you wrote a something and you put it over a beat that you bought and you're like, I want to do more. Like I don't understand music theory. Maybe I don't know how to play the guitar, the drums, but as we're older, wanting to be more a part of that process or at least bring people in who are a part of that process to make our art something that's much more authentic and organic.
Yeah, absolutely. Like one of my favorite tracks that we put together has a Johnny, I think he goes by Johnny Spilker now, but he's got some live harmonica on one of the tracks.
Harmonica?
And it's just,
nice.
Yeah, so that's a track. On one made the beat, and then Johnny put the harmonica on.
That's fire.
It's just a beautiful song.
Where's this dude from?
He's here. Yeah,
he's from Spokane.
Here. Yeah, he used to go by Johnny Heartburn, and then Johnny something. Like he's changed.
Fucking Johnny Harmonicas.
Yeah,
Johnny Harmonicas, dude. We're gonna bring you back, Johnny Harmonicas. If you're not out there working right now.
Yeah. And like Wild Card and his dad, pops with the guitar. I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah, Phil's dad plays the guitar.
Phil's dad, like when he. Like I think that's what makes his set so much better too. It's like his dad's up there playing the guitar throughout his whole set, and it just
family
brings
affair.
it to
I'm
life.
not sure I've seen a Wild Card show before.
Oh no,
Nah.
It's pretty cool.
He just dropped an album too.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah, Wildcard just dropped an album on like January 31st or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Talking about legends like Wild Card, Dead Poet.
he just released one
Yeah.
too.
Because he's back in doing music, right?
Yeah,
I know he had a show at the Pin. I wasn't able to make it, but
I think it was back in April.
Yeah,
It's almost a
last
year
year.
ago now.
no, they just had one.
Did they really?
Yeah, it was like a week ago.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was that was their double release party.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I remember.
and I didn't
that.
even. So my concern is I'm on Instagram every day. I'm on Twitter every day. I live in Spokane, and I never saw that.
I don't see any of their stuff on Instagram. It's all Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
You missed
See,
out.
that's a problem.
Facebook is for local shit. Like
But that's
Instagram
just
and
a
Twitter is
pro-
for what's going
but-
on in the world.
I think it's a problem if you're an artist and you're not reaching me because I don't fuck with Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're only exclusively fucking with Facebook in 2020, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter. People forget about, well, I don't really know how to use Twitter. I don't know. Do people use Twitter? People use Twitter.
Yeah.
There's people who use Twitter that I don't use Instagram. People who use Instagram don't use Twitter. People who use both.
Yeah.
Everybody. It seems like everybody kind of has a Facebook, whether they use it or not. They're like, yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really, sometimes I sign in, sometimes I don't.
Right.
But I got one. Like everybody has a Facebook. But I feel like you have to have your music on multiple platforms because it needs to pop up, man. I need to be seeing fucking, oh shit, Dead Poet show. I want to go check that out.
Yeah, they got another one at a place called like the Brothers Bar.
Yeah, my buddy Jeff owns that place.
I've been hearing about this place.
So that's
Yeah.
gonna be at the
He's been
end of
trying
the
to get
month.
us out there for a long time.
Is that the place up north?
It's Springdale. It's like
Springdale.
45 minutes outside of town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's at the end of this month. So I don't know if they're gonna start putting together a tour soon, but it seems like they're back at it.
Hey man, you got springtime coming. Perfect time to get out here. Sun's shining. People trying to get outside. I think if I could just do the crack of the blinds right now, I could see sometimes the light will fuck with the video, but I just do the crack of the the curtain here, I can kind of see it's a sunny day outside.
Yeah, it's nice. Weather's getting nice. And the thing about Springdale out there, ain't shit out there, bro. So you got all these people looking for something to do. Like, there's money out there. Like, he packs that bar.
You know what they do out there? They fight.
Yeah. He packs that bar every fucking
What are you
weekend,
talking
bro.
about? I think I know about Springdale. Didn't we just have a fucking this conversation with Deese? Didn't he just go out? Wasn't that the place he went to?
No, he went to Colville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
It's that different.
Springdale's a little more diverse. I mean, there's a lot of native people out there and stuff, and so it's a vibe though, man. He said it's cool.
Yeah, we had Deese Casillas, a comedian, on this.
I saw that pop up.
Podcast.
Yeah.
And he had some interesting, just stories doing stand-up comedy and stuff, which is kind of strangely familiar to what we do.
Yeah.
You know, going on stage in front of people that, you know, you're doing rap music. I can only imagine you're out there in the country, you're doing some rap music like, we usually got country rap out here.
What's happening?
Where's overtime?
Yeah, right.
You know, I don't know. I think that you know, when you just be yourself, you can really make music for all people. Mm-hmm. You know, because if you're speaking from your personal experiences and the things that you go through, they're probably things that other people go through.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Be yourself and do more. You know, capture that moment, man. Shoot that content. If you got a message, something you want to say, get the little tripod, set it up, man. The tripod's like $20 on Amazon. Pick it up, fucking set it up, shoot some shit.
Yeah.
Do it. If you want to do something, do it. This music video, someone's gonna hear this podcast and they're gonna fucking hit the inbox and they're gonna be like, "Yo, that dude needs a video." Got you. And that's the beauty of this local community.
Yeah, because there's so many of it. You know, like I think it was Neil. I just saw post some shit where it's like.
Oh yeah, Neil's been doing a bunch of those posts. If you need graphics, hit this guy up. You need a massage, hit this guy up. You need some Girl Scout cookies, hit this. Like, bro, it's just tagging people left and right. That community shit, man. It all comes
blew
around.
my mind. I was just like, man, we got so much support and things going everywhere around here. Like, just got to get back into it.
Yeah.
I was looking at. I think I saw Riker post something and it said, "Your network is your net worth."
I like that.
I really like that. You know, the people that you build around you and the people that you choose to associate with, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the thing that we learn when we're older, is that we all get to choose who we want to have in our lives here. I mean, you can't choose family, so, you know, whatever. Besides that, you get to choose, you know, the people who are adding to your life and the people that you're encouraging each other, getting better. You know when it's healthy, right? Yeah. And you keep these people in your life and kind of building that network of people and being able to help each other. That's such a beautiful thing. And I think that shout out to like Riker and Django and all those guys, because they have built such a strong, like, they've helped in the community, bringing this to a community thing where everybody was like, "Oh, we gonna get worldwide," and they kind of brought it to like, dude, focus on this right here, being in Spokane, the people around you, really building that community, and being able to sell out a venue with a local crowd, or being able to, you know, but really affect people and reach people locally that are right here, that you can go out, you can do a show, they can touch you, you can fucking get their hands up, you know, all that, and not focus on trying to be, oh man, I'm gonna be, you know, worldwide and all these things, man, because
you putting the cart before the horse when you do that. I mean, you have to build a solid foundation where you come from. People get these like big dreams and, oh, I'm gonna be, you know, the best in the world, and then I'm not even worried about it. It's this huge competition, and yeah, friendly competition is nice, but it's like to have a whole community of people that, you know, that all got each other's backs and are working towards building something solid for everybody here, that everybody wins.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I definitely need to get out more. I need to go.
And you know what? That's the same thing I tell Moses.
Yeah,
Moses says that. Moses says, "Damn, we're doing a lot of name drops tonight."
Hey,
this is a lot
supporting the community, man. Put people on.
Yeah, Moses too. He's always like, "I got to get out more." So, you know what? I got to get out more.
Yeah.
Ask my friends.
Yeah, we all got to get out.
I got to get out more. So, you know, community. We'll encourage each other
Yeah.
to get the fuck out and go to some of these local shows and kind of support some of these other people, because there's a lot of other people and a lot of different genres that are out here working.
Yeah.
They're out at these shows. They're doing it every night, and just having a couple extra heads cheering people on and, you know, clapping and, you know, enjoying their music that's the kind of stuff that we're trying, that real shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so. Do you go to a lot of shows?
I try to get out when I can. I need to go to more.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm kind of in that same boat.
Yeah.
You know, I went to a decent amount last year, but I did miss a few key shows that I was like, man, I really should have been.
I mean, in the winter too, especially, it's
tough.
It's easy to just be like, man.
So I'm just wondering how it's going, because you know, I've been 5, 6, 7 years almost since I was like real heavy and active out in the area. So I didn't know if it was Pest, man, another shout out, but you know, Pest put a show on recently, and he had me thinking it was actually sold out. You know, he tells me, you know, I was like, how'd it go? I missed it. I had to work. And he said, it's sold out, bro. And I was like, hell yeah. But I believed him. And then come to find out it was not even close to sold out from what he said. And I was just like, I was like, so is it the same? Is it different? But then Wildcard really said his show sold out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's just the date it lands on, the promotion.
It does depend on the draw of the artist and who's on the bill. It also depends heavily on the venue. I mean, shout out to the Pin for what they've done with the new owner and everything. It sounds like the sound is much better in there than it used to be, and like things have turned around a lot. I haven't gotten a chance to do a show there personally to know, but I know. Yeah, I mean, at the Bartlett when it was still open, it's like 150 capacity, so it's a little bit smaller. But I mean, it's been sold out. Multiple shows that I've done there to you know, a packed room. And it's a vibe.
And I like those smaller venues.
Yeah, same thing with Lucky You. It's got a little bit more capacity in there, but like the area where you're watching the show at is like, it packs the people in, so you do get this like nice close crowd.
Yeah,
it's not like I've done a couple of like locals only shows at the Knit where you're not opening for a big name, and even with the free tickets and stuff, it's like it's hard to get people out of the bar. There's an empty floor in front. It's not you know,
down there.
It's really tough to create a vibe and do what you want to do, you know, when the audience isn't there with you.
Yeah,
so,
I get that. See, I did me and On1 did one at the Pin years ago with Wildcard. When who did he bring? Those guys from Strange Music.
Cess Crew or
something?
something?
Cess Crew. Yeah, we did that one. I think it was like the War of the World 3 party or something.
Okay.
I can't remember what Wildcard was doing those parties. And that was great. I loved the sound, the vibe, the just everything about it. And I've been to a couple shows for bigger names that came out there too, which was awesome. And I feel the same with the Knit. It's like, it feels like an honor to perform there, be on that stage. But if you only got 300 people there, you feel it, that it's not the same as if you have 300 people at.
Oh, it's really tough, man. Yeah, to pack them into a little bit of a tighter area, you definitely feel the vibe a lot more. Yeah. But I would say, as far as, I mean, to answer your question, being 5 or 6 years out of the scene, I would say personally, having been involved in the scene for that time, it's grown and turned into something it's much more tight knit than it ever was. It's less cliquish. Like, everybody is really supportive of everybody else.
Oh, that's good.
And because of that, like, being able to share fan bases with artists that are like you, like, that's the other thing about shows, how they compare to now is how they used to be, is when the person in charge of the show is doing it right, which I find is happening a lot more than it used to out here, the pairing of artists on a set mesh well.
Oh, okay.
It's not, because the thing about hip hop that's tricky is if you're not familiar, you're just putting rappers on shows with other rappers. Like you were talking about, you got 12 people on the show. It's really disjointed. You got cliques and homeboys coming up to rap that aren't, whatever. Yeah. And it's like, you might have some West Coast gangster rap. You might have some straight up like juggalo shit. And then you know.
We talking about Tupac here?
Yeah.
We're talking about putting all your homeboys on, coming up on the stage. I got some bars too.
Shout out to the Outlaws, bro.
He can rap, okay? You cannot.
You cannot, bro.
Everybody wants to rap, though.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right?
It really
it's
seems
fun.
like it,
Everybody wants. Oh, I can do it.
Life is short. Be a rapper.
I follow this guy. I don't know, because I do still have a few people on my Instagram that I follow just because they're like, longtime fans and shit. So I like just clicked on someone's live on accident. You got to click on a live on accident every once in a while.
All the time. I'm like, oh, they're gonna see I was in there.
And they're just in and out. Woo, I'm out. And but
I try to stay out for a couple seconds. Just to see if they recognize. Because usually they're like, "Oh, hey," but if they don't, then you're like, "Okay."
If they wave at you, then you feel an obligation to stay. You're like, "Oh."
Especially if you see other people drop it off. You're like, oh, don't let me be the
Don't be
last
that
person.
guy.
That
I'm not gonna put him at
dances.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
if
put me at 0,
if I
bro.
pop on and I'm like 4 or 5, I'm like, you know.
But I decided to stay on, and this kid was just he was just you just freestyling, and you just there's no flow, and it's just not. Ugh. And you're just like, dude, I get it, it's fun, okay, but no,
He's trying. He's trying, man.
this is my problem, bro. Please try. I would never discourage anybody from trying. Just don't record it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes there's another thing. Don't make content. Okay. Yet get good at something first, and then fucking make content.
Because there's an art in patience. I mean,
Yeah.
there really is. You gotta sit on things. And I don't know. You said a kid. I don't know how old, so I'm guessing a little younger. But like that's the thing with their generation too. They feel like everything needs to be on display, or everything could be their moment. And it's
in a world where anything could go viral, at any minute.
Yeah, because who knows? Ellen's gonna see it and give you $20,000.
You never know.
Just because
Could happen.
you had the camera on you all day.
Something could happen, dude. There's these weird internet people like Supreme Patty.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this guy?
No.
Okay. There's these weird internet people out there like Bad Barbie, Baby. Right?
That's the Cash Me Outside girl, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that, right? Where you just have, I mean, that was Dr. Phil, so it was a little different, obviously like a huge platform, but still, like to turn that into a rap career.
Yeah.
And now she has like a line of, she has apps. I don't know. She's got all sorts of
Yeah,
shit.
she gets paid to show up at parties
Yeah.
and stuff now too.
Like,
You're
act out.
famous,
She
famous.
was on David Spade's Lights Out show recently as a guest.
No
shit.
way.
Yeah.
I love that show.
And I was just like, why are you here? This
Started
Was it
on
awesome
Dr.
though?
Phil,
That's
man.
actually kind of cool though. See this, I like this shit because I do kind of feel like this is a simulation a little bit. So
Might as well.
so when crazy shit happens, I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. Like, how did this chick go from a meme that now she's held at the same? She's a celebrity.
Yeah.
Who pressed the wrong button? This is interesting.
Listen to a song.
It's crazy.
It's not that bad.
It's not that great.
It's not that great either,
Depends
bro.
on what you're looking for.
But listen, we all like ignorant ass music every once in a while when
Sure.
you just like to turn up and
Sure.
just listen to some fuck shit that's like, okay, bro, this isn't. And this is the thing where music is all these different levels. Music doesn't have to be meaningful. It doesn't have to be close to your heart. It doesn't have to be about something genuine. It can be about thongs and booties and
Lotion.
fucking- and champagne and lotion. You know, it can be about that type of shit and just give you the kind of vibe that just, ooh, yeah, we getting it, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, and that's how, the Cardi B's and the, that kind of stuff where you just have some, I got blood issues. It's not about anything like too serious. It's just, you want to turn up to it, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got I don't remember what this guy's name was, which sucks. He was real popular. Not Future. Dreads. God. Waka Flocka.
Waka Flocka?
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
You want
Waka
a beer?
Flocka. Yeah, I'll take one. My boy Kaga. I don't know if you guys know Kaga.
Yeah, we know Kaga.
Yeah, no Kaga.
But I'm pretty sure, forgive me, Kaga, if it wasn't you, but he said that before every show that he would perform at, he would lock his cell phone headphones blasting Waka Flocka. And I was like, you don't picture that when you think of Kaga, right?
No.
You don't think about it. But like you said, that was just what got him vibed out, ready to perform his music.
What's that
It's
Waka
like,
Flocka song you guys remember? Is there anyone? Do you guys remember? You ever listen to Waka Flocka?
I think I gave him a little list. I couldn't tell you anything
Hard in the
about
Paint is the one that
Dude,
I go hard in the motherfucking paint.
yeah,
Leave you stanking.
He talks
What
about
the
how he's
fuck
like
you
not.
thinking?
He's like, I'm not a rapper. I remember that one he did with Machine Gun Kelly. The yeah, bitch,
call me Steve. Oh, I'm a wild boy.
I'm a wild boy. Yeah, that shit was crazy. And that
But
was,
it's all kind of got that same like bounce to it.
and it had that like fucking like there was a spot in the video where he was sitting at like a family dinner.
Yeah.
With like a white family, and he's just like sitting there, and then he just like breaks a bottle over the dad's head, and it just gets like insane. And that's the kind of shit that's fun.
Yeah.
That is fun, man. That Yeah, because you do have some songs that are some kind of like, you know, some fuck shit, right? Watch her go. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
just
like, ooh,
having some fun.
what we doing? Yeah. Oh,
Which, I mean, for those to come together for me, I mean, Cordell came up with the concept. You know, I'm not going to, you know, Cordell needs a shout out on that. Because you're not going to get me to come up with that concept, you know, but I can always add to
Ooh,
it.
I
Right.
like it. Okay.
Right.
So you yourself pretty much stay on like a more
Yeah.
of a serious.
Yeah, so that I rely on all my fellow artists to help me get out my box. So if I reach out, I'm like, I think I'm very good at finding what other people will vibe with, or like figuring that out. So I like to send the beats. Like I don't just send the same 12 beats to 50 artists. Everyone's gonna get their personalized package of what I believe they vibe with or can add to. And then sometimes they come back at me with something like Vicious. Be Vicious. It took a huge chunk in my project of coming up with concepts because he was ready to get back at it, and you know that's what takes me out of my own head, because otherwise I will just sit there and rap.
Be
about
Vicious. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah. He's coming back. He's got a project coming out this spring, he said, I believe. And
Really?
Making a
Yeah.
comeback?
Yeah. So
What was that one that was like hindsight 2020? Like,
with Brandon B.
that shit was
Yeah,
fire.
that's a
That
good
was
song.
like a hit, bro.
Hindsight is
That shit was
20/20.
fire.
Yeah.
That Bump It or Dump It days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Remember that?
Yeah,
good
Spokane
times.
had a heyday, bro.
Yeah.
It's just podcasts now but Bump It or Dump It, Urban Plugs, having a place in Spokane where you could submit your music, they would play it live on air, people would call in.
Yeah.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah. It was huge.
Being able to have a place where you could go have a radio interview.
Yeah.
With like Shanna and Genghis and all
Yeah.
that. Dude,
And promote your shows coming up and all that. I loved it. And then I think, didn't they have a Facebook page that they would have active while they were doing it?
Yeah, they used to do like live stuff on Facebook during the show.
really?
Yeah.
So you could also submit your bump or dump vote through there.
You know what? Maybe we need to bring that shit back.
We should bring that shit back.
We should bring that back.
Yeah, I miss that, bro. Yeah. I remember we went up there. We played The Difference. That track that we did with Devi.
That was
and
the
Intricate.
Dr. Dre remix, right?
Yeah. Well, that's okay. So Genghis said he liked it. Shanna said she liked it. Jazz, the third dude there, he was like, "That says Dr. Dre shit. You can't rap over Dr. Dre shit." We're like, "No, but it's dope." And he flipped the beat like a little bit different. He's like, "That shit ain't different at all. And you can't rap over something that Greatness rapped over. You sound like shit."
Well, because Moses
just, like,
took
went in.
Moses took the sample that Dre sampled,
From the original
and so he
song.
didn't sample Dre. He sampled the original song that Dre
just
used.
so it ended up sounding kind
but
of-
yeah, you're always gonna come with that.
Well, it's kind of like he's like the Simon Cowell,
Yeah.
right? Like he's coming through with that fucking that harsh critic.
Harsh but fair.
You need that, bro. You don't want a bunch of fucking dude. That's the worst.
Yes,
Don't-
man.
Don't fucking. Ugh.
Don't just gas me on nothing.
Unless my shit is really fire.
Yeah.
Okay. But be like, ooh, could have been recorded better.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing, but kind of rugged.
Yeah.
Because we were recording a lot of shit in the closet.
Yeah, and that was the beauty of Genghis too. I mean, you're gonna get the real truth from him, even if it was harsh as shit.
And that's what made it special.
Yeah.
Right? That's what made it like, oh shit, they might dump it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just knew you were gonna get bumped all the time because people were nice,
Yeah.
there would be nothing. You'd be like, fuck that.
And it came from a good place too. Like he would challenge you not to beat you down, but to push something more out of you.
Yeah.
He wanted to, get it through your head. Like, I'm not just gonna settle for this. If you're capable of more, step it up. Or what's going on here? Why didn't you do this? It's just very aggressive way sometimes, but you need that. You need that old school, in your face ass whooping verbally sometimes.
It seems like it went away fast. Like it was just there, and then like for a long time, and then all of a sudden I was just like,
Gone. It's tough. They've tried to do a couple of other local hip hop shows, and it's just they get concerned anytime anyone wants to do a local hip hop show because of just the propensity that hip hop has for profanity and shit happening on air that they can't afford.
Yeah.
So like you can have a dump button that'll dump audio if someone accidentally swears or whatever, but like people send edits for the radio that aren't completely edited or they
Podcast,
miss
bro.
something.
Oh, and
podcast.
the phone calls in that were live,
Oh, of
that
course.
was always rough for them, get somebody. And because it's local, there's always going to be those local people that don't like you. So they would purposely call in just to fucking
Just
tell
to
you
fuck with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. We need that. Can we get a phone? Let's get a fucking dude. Let's get one of those phones right here.
The happy to be here hotline.
Like one of those up two sides.
A red phone with a red light on it.
Please, dude. And we can do it. We can have another phone to do a live. We'll shoot with the camera, have the phone do the live, and then we can have people call in and we'll bumper dump their music.
I love it. Just do a little 30-minute.
Yeah, a little segment.
Love it, bro.
That would be so fun.
It'd be huge. People need it. They need that platform.
I'll dump the fuck out of so much shit. Bring it.
I'll dump everything.
Fucking bring it, dude.
You're literally
like it or not.
transforming
I'm
into
dumping.
Joe Budden before our eyes. Quit rapping just to judge everybody else's rapping. So I don't really rap no more, but y'all fucking suck.
I just want good shit. Like I think there does need to be a gatekeeper of like quality control where you're like, nah, bro, nah, son. You know?
Yeah.
And then people are like not okay with being whack.
Yeah.
Like people need to be not okay with being whack. You know, because a lot of shit is whack and a lot of shit that's really popular is whack. To me, just because, you know, a lot of us were raised up on the Tupacs and the Biggies and the, you know, and Jay-Z and all that kind of shit. And you got real lyrics, real thoughtful, creative ways of, you know, using words and syllables and going back to things and making your, whoa, let me rewind that.
Right.
Like that was the thing. Whoa, what did he say? Now it's just a vibe.
That's the excuse, though. That's what they'll say.
Oh, it's just vibey, bro.
Is like you were saying the other week, is there's no such thing as bad art. It's all subjective and blah, blah, blah. It used to be back in the day, a motherfucker told you your shit was cornball. You're like, damn, I'm a cornball. I better go back to the drawing board, rework this, figure it out. Nowadays, you tell someone they're a cornball, you just don't get it, bro. It's just different. It's unique. It's artistic. It's my... Like, you hear the part where he said, I felt that shit, bro, in my soul.
Yo, and dude, like have you ever heard of Rex Life Raj?
No.
Father.
Yeah.
Shout
Okay,
out
so
to Rex.
check out that guy, man. But he's from Berkeley, I think, California.
Yeah, Berkeley.
And he does like some of that auto tune, and it's fire. Very thoughtful lyrics, catchy hooks, you know, and just I think like when it comes to hip hop, being clever. That's a big thing is being clever.
Yeah.
Right? And expressing it a little bit different. Trying to find a way that's not going to be like the run of the mill way to deliver your message.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to have the trickery. And Eminem was really good at that.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists, Tupac, you know, which obviously Eminem just like was a huge Tupac fan, right? And I mean, Tupac was like one of those, and Biggie too, right? It's just we were just so far. Like Biggie was New York.
Yeah,
I've never felt connected with New York.
I see. I did with Big L.
Big L, man.
Big L was huge.
Rest in
for me.
peace.
Yeah, Biggie. I never really got on to the music as much. Besides like songs like "Sky's the Limit" or "You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You," like. My depressing ass shit, you know. Like other than that, like,
he's like, that's my shit.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I never. But I understand because Biggie was a lyricist. He had that smooth flow. For me, Pac had the tone. He had the right delivery that spoke to me, of course. But yeah, and then DMX was a huge one for me in New York. That was a big one. I think he's from Yonkers, but
really,
yeah.
Okay, he's a New York guy. Yeah, DMX, man. See, some artists became so big that you didn't know where they were from.
Yeah.
Right.
And you were just like, oh, it's DMX.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
DMX, worldwide.
Dude.
He's from Earth.
Yeah, DMX, dude.
I don't think you thought about it too much till like Nelly came out, and it was like a new vibe.
The dirty South stuff and all that.
The Midwest.
Yeah.
And then it became these areas, and then Houston, everything. became
UGK
about,
and all that was huge. But Nate Dogg, Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg, all that with like. Wasn't that Tupac? Every other city we go.
Oh, yeah.
Every other video about when we go. See the same hole. Dude, that was my shit because I would just like anything that was like that feel good, and Tupac would make that like real feel good shit, bro.
Yeah.
And that real fuck you shit, bro, which would make you feel. So what kind of draws you to that more kind of sad or more serious, kind of like the darker side of things in your music?
I wish I knew. It just feels like it's my element. Like that's what I understood. And it's kind of like my best therapy to get it out. So if I get in touch with that, then I can write it down, record it, release it, and then it feels like I've released it at that point. Like, okay, it's gone for a little while.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your demons tend to come back or things happen. So that's why so much of my music tends to go that way. But then I just get it out again. And I really felt it taking this long break off. I didn't know what to do. Alcohol got
so you didn't
bad.
know, you didn't know you were releasing it in other ways.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to, but I couldn't. So like that's why getting back into it was amazing because I didn't realize how much it helped until I didn't have it for so long. And so yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I could be happier and be like, I'm going to create this wonderful feel good song or even a club one more often. But usually it's just like I'm going to talk about what I feel, and usually when I want to write, I'm not in the best mood or I'm sad about something. The work I do is depressing as shit sometimes, so it's just always bad shit everywhere, and that's what sticks to me. The happiness feels fabricated for me, and whenever I see something happy, I'm just like bullshit.
Just seems disingenuous.
Yeah,
as a friend, I'm concerned about you, but as a listener and an artist, I thank you for sharing your truth.
Oh yeah,
keep listening to that sad shit.
Yeah. I mean, I have plenty of happiness in my life. That's the big thing. But it's like I can't get rid of those thoughts or those things. And that's how I get to.
But that's how you express that, and dude, that's crucial because there's a lot of people that are dealing with things that you don't get that side of it.
Yeah.
And I think that you're an artist here locally that a lot of people can relate to. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because I really only try to handpick people to have on this podcast that I'm really interested in. You're doing cool shit. You're being consistent. And, man, you're one of the most consistent people I know, just consistently dropping. Bro, sometimes I'll see you post like 5 posts in like 3 hours. Yeah. I'll just be like, dude, fucking, like you put out content. Yeah. You have a page called True Reviews.
Yeah. Which I have neglected a little bit, but yeah, that is fun. Movies are huge in my life.
Yeah, talk to me about that a little bit.
I don't know. I think it comes down to that fabrication of things in the world to me, actually. But I've just always loved movies. I can, if I get a chance, I will lock myself away and watch 10 movies in a weekend.
Really?
And I don't give a shit if anybody's with me to talk to me about them. They speak to me, so I love them. So this Regal Cinemas, shout out to Regal with their new little unlimited pass they have, like life changer for me.
So you go to the theater?
Yeah, now I do. I'll go to at least one movie every week. I saw 11 movies at Regal in January.
11 movies.
Yeah. Damn. And wow. And it's just how it works out for me sometimes. But I try to go at least once a week, and then I red box the shit out of things, and I just love them. And so I would always post them or talk about them, and I don't even know how it started.
So on True Reviews, you basically just post up the review, like a 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, something like that.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll give a description depending on how I feel, or if I feel like enough people are looking at it. Or sometimes I'll get a request like, what did you think about this one? I was like, oh, okay, let me put what I actually thought. Other than that, I'll just give it the rating. And I try to keep it simple. No spoilers, things like that. That's always a big thing for me. I hate spoilers.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure it's always just like a little basis of your understanding of what you're going to get. Or if there's a big surprise, like not as good as it made it look in this, or this, but. And I try to keep it positive. I could find appreciation in pretty much anything.
But you got to be real.
Yeah.
I think that, so what I would say is I think that more people care than will actually comment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people will notice it. Like this dude found out with Matisse's picks. He had this thing where he had like Instagram dedicated to all this new music that he was finding on that was coming out and posting, and then found out that when he wasn't getting a lot of engagement as far as people commenting and liking, but then as soon as he took it away, people are like, whoa, hey,
where'd that go?
Dude, I rely on that.
I get my whole playlist from there.
I think I've had 2, and I'm not in the scene very well. I've had 2 people bring that up to me about, oh man, Matisse used to do these. What happened? And I actually brought it. I said, well, he's doing it still. It just sounds like it's a little different than
it's on my main page now.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it needed its own page because it wasn't getting the engagement.
Oh, so you had a separate one for
a while. But my point's probably going to be like, I I enjoy it because as a guy that likes movies, and I don't want to watch 10 movies in a weekend because I can really only do with my ADHD and my being over 30. I feel an anxiety constantly that I'm not doing enough at all times.
Yeah. It's hard to relax and just let your brain go when there's so much shit to be done.
Dude, if I'm watching a movie, usually I'm like, I should be writing. I should be doing. There's something I should be doing. What am I doing? You know, if I'm playing video games. So sometimes it does you get a little restless.
It's tough.
But I like to know how that movie is. Nobody likes to waste 2 hours watching something and be like,
find out if it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, you're not going to get that time back. You see, I know any movie I bounce off you're going to have seen it.
Did you do a top list last year?
No, I should have.
What were your top 3 movies last year?
Last year?
Or at least top 1. What was the best movie you saw? Highlights.
Top 3. I like top 3.
Yeah, top 3.
Joker, no question, was up there for me. Man. What compared to the Joker at the time for me? God, I don't know. There's so many. That's the one that took the cake for me.
Okay, tell me what your favorite movie is this year so far.
So far this year?
So you saw 11 in January.
Yeah, I know. It's hard for me to think of what they all were. I don't want to miss.
So did you see Ready or Not?
Yeah.
I just watched that last night.
You did?
Literally last night.
Dude, that one was good.
Love that movie.
Yeah, that was good, bro.
Knives Out last year was a really good one.
Knives Out is good. I have not started that. I haven't finished it.
I haven't seen that yet.
That was a different.
Yeah.
Was it like Clue? Kind
of? A little bit, yeah.
There's a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's the cast was wonderful and the story was like engaging, and then you think you know what's going on, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, and then you're like, oh, well, they just gave it away. But then there's another twist. So it's like, gosh, okay.
I love twists.
They kept me going. But another one this year, The Gentleman. I don't know if you guys heard that.
That's like in the theaters now, right?
Yeah, that's an incredible movie.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to see that, and then the person I was going to go see it with stood me up. We didn't go see it.
Fuck that. Name names.
Yeah, this is a name dropping podcast today.
You did me wrong. We were supposed to see that movie.
If you listen and you
know who you are.
You know what you did.
Shame. Shame.
Oh man,
I get made fun of for going to the movies by myself.
My wife was clowning on me for that shit. I wanted to go see a movie. She didn't want to go see. She said, "Well, you can go by yourself, loser." I'm like,
yeah, that's exactly how my wife treated me. I was like, yeah, I'm going, and she's just like, oh my god, you're weird. You're gonna be that creepy guy. I was like, what's creepy about it?
What's creepy? Like, and then if I tell her if I'm going with a guy friend, she'll, oh, your little date with your little boyfriend, you're gonna hold hands,
right?
And share popcorn. I can't win. I can't go by myself. I can't go. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Stop making it fucking weird, people.
Yeah.
Okay, people kick it. You know what I'm saying? And we don't just gotta watch football and fucking drink beer.
Sometimes we can sit in a dark room and snuggle. It's totally fine.
And sit right next to each other and share a bag of sweet tarts or something. You know, that's okay.
That's okay.
You know, well, dude, I fucking love everything you do, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise, too.
Man, you stay so consistent with everything, bro. Lately, I fuck with it, man, and kind of learning, you know, why, or how you're able to even do what you do, man. You know, it amazes me when I see guys with families that are, you know, have full-time jobs, full-time families, still finding time to put in that passion and make and record. Yeah. And shout out to Moses, man. That's where you record everything, right?
Yeah, everything's done there now.
So shout out to Moses, man, because he holds down the community as far as just having that spot, dude, for anybody to be able to get in there and create that shit, bro.
Yeah. He's done me. He did about, God, I want to say 70% of drinking dry water probably too. So,
wait, drinking dry water? We haven't even talked about that.
Oh, yeah, it's in there, bro. That was, what, 2015? 2014.
Drinking dry water. That was a really good one. Was that the one with all the songs on it?
Yeah, 39 songs.
39 songs.
Yeah.
Which song, man,
August 22nd, 2014.
What were some of the keys on that? What were some of the key songs on that? I can't remember.
So we got, what do we got?
Really some real solid hitters on there.
We got No Control with Cordell Drake and Be Vicious.
Okay, I think I remember that one. Dude, see, I just wish there were no videos to any of these, right?
No.
We got God'll Cut You Down featuring Blaze One and Imperfect Cody.
Oh, and Cody.
Yeah.
That's right. Dude, that cut you down with that Johnny Cash sample.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was fire.
We got The Difference with Young Devi, Intricate, and some guy called Chinky. I don't know who that is.
I changed that on Spotify now. Now it says Eyes Low Matisse.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Appreciate that.
It's hard, man. It's hard to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough. What's your favorite track off there?
Off Drinking Dry Water?
Yeah.
Is It a Crime is one of my favorites with Imperfect Cody.
That's a good song.
And that was the first time we worked together, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And he got a fan out of me from that one.
Yeah.
He created the startup concept for that song. Me and Moses worked on the beat. I picked the sample, put it together, and then sent it to Cody to see what he thought. And then right away he sends this back, and I'm like, oh shit, I love the direction you took it in. Created a beautiful story. And then just a couple other favorites I really have is like I think it's called Loves Me When She's Drunk with Be Vicious. That was I really love listening to that one. Gosh, I don't know. There's so many. That's always the problem.
There's so many.
And then Treasure in the Trash.
Yeah, Treasure in the Trash is good.
That was a big one when I was working at the youth shelter downtown. I wrote that while I was working, and it's all about my experience seeing the homeless youth outside and the vets and stuff. And that was a cool one.
Well, I think that sometimes the problem can be when you drop so many songs that people overlook certain songs.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that there's definitely a value to some extent spotlighting a song, right? And then giving people time to digest it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is it's all about what we're doing it for. And your music's out there. People can discover it at any time, you know, and being able to talk about that right there, you know, because that was your job, or that is your job.
I'm still with the same agency, but I'm doing a little different role. Now I work with adults more often than youth.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, but I always remember that you were doing things for the community with your work.
Yeah.
And helping troubled youth and stuff like that. And so you're saying that it's sad, and sometimes you have to deal with, you know, kind of things that are kind of shaky a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of, I mean, you know, you guys go downtown to a show, or if you drive by and you see all the people down there running around, you know, those are the ones we work with very closely. So we know a little bit more of their stories. We know a little bit about why they have a machete in their hand at all times, or why they're taking a shit in the middle of the road, or why they're screaming what seems like nonsense, but we actually understand what's going on with them. So it's tough, because it's just constantly working with people at rock bottom, basically.
Yeah.
It's like at their worst. And
Spokane's got a pretty bad problem with, you know, how we take care of people in those situations. So I mean, that's a huge thing you're doing, man.
Well, and you know, because of all the resources we're getting here, which is awesome, it's unfortunate too, because then it's resulting in other communities like basically shipping their homeless population here. Because you're like, oh, we'll send you to Spokane because it's cheaper to pay for a $60 Greyhound ticket than to keep you here and take care of you ourselves.
Like over on the west side?
Yeah, we've had people even report it from Montana to Seattle to Oregon, even from California. We've had people tell us that's where they've.
It's got to be pretty fucking rough being fucking homeless in Montana.
Honestly, everybody said it's worse here. You know,
really?
We even met a guy from New York City who said he would much rather go back to New York and be homeless than here, which blew my mind. But because there's no loyalty among the streets out here. I mean,
but no loyalty, especially in the streets of New York City.
No, he said in New York they took care of each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, they took care of each other. Yeah,
he said if you're homeless, you look out for.
I would think the people that are walking by would just be like, "Bruh, stop."
Yeah,
like you know, it's like, you trying to sell a mixtape? What are you trying to get? Get out of here.
Oh yeah, that community, I'm sure, is not as supportive.
Right. I mean, I could see it though, how in a big city like that, how more of the homeless people would kind of band together and kind of make it more of like, because I mean, over there you've got like communities like tent cities and stuff like that under bridges and shit. You don't really see too much of that like collected out here. Everybody's kind of in it for themselves. you know.
It's who can I use today?
Yeah.
And even the people we talk to that say, like, you know, this is my brother, or this is my street mom, or these are my brothers and sisters, they're the same ones that are robbing them that same night.
Yeah, they'll still.
And their conception of what family is so twisted
Over here.
because they haven't had it. Yeah. So then they just believe that's how your family treats you. And it's like, you know, there's got to be better ways to get through to them. That's why I love the work that we have with different programs. There's just so much opportunity, and we get to see change. There's some happiness in the job, but there's a whole lot of negativity.
Wasn't there like a band of street kids that were like running around punching people in the head?
Like the knockout game, and yeah, like it's tough. Like they don't have any role models.
Right.
The knockout game.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a game.
Well, that was the tough part about working in the youth shelter, right? It's like you're there for them, but ultimately you can only help the ones that decide to show up to the shelter that night. Mm-hmm. Other than that, if you're running across the street and I know who you are, I can't actually leave the shelter to go talk to you or help you.
Right.
And so
You have to come in.
yeah, and that's what limited it so much, even in the day center. You know, it's like there's all these kids out here, but if they don't come in, then we can't help them.
I mean, you're free. You're literally free. You're free to destroy yourself. You're free to make something great of yourself. You're in this country. You're literally free to do anything. And when you live by those principles, you can't force people to do shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you're gonna have to want to quit.
Yeah.
And all we can do is lead by example.
Yeah.
Right? That's all we can do is kind of have these conversations and talk to people and kind of spread a message of, dude, let's work together. Let's be upfront. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Like now they're trying to move the youth shelter from downtown over to near a college campus, which I think is awesome because they say rather than surrounding these teenagers who are gullible and vulnerable and putting them around all the
More
people who've been on the
homelessness
streets for
and-
20 years
Yeah.
have been using and they're going to take advantage of you. Let's put them by college campus so that's what they see every day. When they wake up in the morning and leave the shelter, they're getting influenced by the visuals of people leaving a college campus.
Yeah.
Or rather than walking out and catching on to the people who's feeding them meth. So I think that'll be cool. That should be another year or two.
There's just such a stigma when you see a homeless person.
Oh, yeah.
That you're just like, you want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want anything.
Don't
to do
look
with
them in
this.
the eyes.
Put
Don't,
the blinders on. Yeah.
Like as soon as they're walking up to my car, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I go, nope. You know, I'm not even interested in hearing what you have to say because I already know whatever you're going to tell me is probably bullshit.
And I'll tell you from experience, it usually is.
But it's like,
the people I know, some of those people out there holding signs have homes.
But you wanna do better. What is a good way to decipher who you can really help versus?
I'd say going to like the organizations themselves rather than the individual, because we all have seen those stories or seen it visually. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like some of the people that we see, I give them shit later on when I see them at their house, or because I'm like, really, you need a burger? We just fed you today, like, and he's, whatever it may be, it's just different. And then you got other people who actually put their sign and pack it away and then go put it in the trunk of their fucking Mercedes.
Yeah.
That's
a real thing.
Yeah, that's real because this was years and years ago, but one of my cousins had found a statistic saying that the average panhandler can actually bring in more than like the minimum wage rate if you work full time. And it depends on how much you want to sit out there and where you get your location down.
I've seen people fighting over corners. This is a good corner.
Yeah.
You gotta
get the
have
fuck out of here.
Yeah, because there's a spot downtown where it's actually the cutoff of the neighborhood, like resource officers' territory. So SPD won't go mess with you there, but it's off a freeway.
So there's a little
and
spot, little loophole.
Yeah, there's like little area, and so they know if they pack it up there every day, nobody can mess with them. Nobody can do shit. They can get complaints to the city, but SPD can't do shit to them there, right? And then we've got other stories. Somebody's in a wheelchair, and a really shitty liver. So somebody will buy them a beer that day, get them, they're going to take it, they're going to drink it, and they're going to pass out. And all they do is put the sign and a jar on their lap and leave them on the corner, but they're sitting in the bushes behind so they can collect after they got all the money from that image of
Jesus Christ.
It's shady. It's all shady. But
remember that? Wasn't there like a skate park under like a bridge?
Yeah.
There was that. I remember.
UTC, man.
I'd never been there before, but I know that. I think I drove past it. Was it like a big problem or something?
Oh yeah, it turned into a horrible just visual, I think, for people. So that's where all the complaints came, because it was just tents and garbage and feces and, you know, whatever it may be. And then the big thing, I think if we remove the damn syringes off the ground, people would accept it a lot more. That's always the problem, is nobody wants syringes laying around the ground. Nobody wants to trust their kids to walk
Especially
around.
Especially if you have kids. Exactly, man. It's huge. You want to...
I mean, I'd rather see a pile of shit than a syringe laying down, uncapped and ready. Yeah. So
well, why don't, you know, what is the fucking point? Like, why is there not porta potties that are just like out there?
They've done that. I don't know if they always do it, but it seemed like HOC, the House of Charity men's shelter downtown, when they close down, they'll send out like an email so everybody knows when they're shutting down certain hours, and then they'll get the porta potties ready, because they know people depend on that place to use the bathroom.
I mean, just being able to have that, I think that's you know, the right to be able to take a shit, even if you're broke as fuck and have nothing.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to take a shit, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like you should never have to shit in the street.
Yeah, because
we don't want you to shit in the street. Yeah. You don't want to shit in the street. Let's get you something to shit in.
Let's get you a place to shit.
Dehumanizes you. It takes it makes you feel like an animal or something, and that's what, you know, breaks that trust of community. They're linked to community because they feel alone, so they latch on to the other people that are in their situation or who sell.
And we do a lot of that in the country that we live in right now. Where we do that with prisons, and we do that with, you know, we're not trying to educate people and make them smarter or better citizens when they get out of prison. You're just you're making people that are going to go back to prison.
Yeah.
And we talk about it, and, you know, way bigger channels than this talk about it, and movies and documentaries, and still, it's just money runs everything.
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, unfortunately, I think they like to keep you in that cycle because it keeps the money flowing steady. So it's
the
like
money flowing steady. It's
so
the same reason you don't want to cure a disease.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you want to do that? We can just keep it, you know.
I can prescribe you this for life and keep banking
keep
on
it hooked, yeah.
And then,
if you claim that there's no cure, you know, then we can just keep it going.
And but then you're collecting the money from the researchers who want to find the cure. You know, then it's like a different ball game to the point where you found this test. Money gets spent so crazy. It blows my mind to hear like we don't have money for certain things, but you see it getting spent on these other shit.
Oh, we spent a trillion on this, but we don't have money for homeless people to take shits.
Yeah,
we spent $1 trillion on wars with people we don't need to be at war with. You know, we should take care of our citizens.
Yeah, or like the amount of money they raise for these campaigns for every aspect of voting that comes across, like, blew my mind when I found they raised millions of dollars for some of these campaigns just for them to drop out right before the real race starts because they ran out of money. It's like, what could you have done with that money?
Yeah,
Mike Bloomberg.
I know. It's funny. They had not to get political. They had a debate last night, and all the candidates, you know, Warren and everybody are, I won't take money from billionaires. I don't take money from billionaires. They had an interview afterwards. They asked Warren and a couple other people, well, so if Mike Bloomberg gets to the point that he's going to drop out, he said he'll support whatever candidate we pick, and he'll put his money behind him. Are you going to take his money? Sure. Yeah, I'll take his money. Wait, didn't you just say you weren't going to take no money from billionaires? Well, no, it's different, though.
It's Mike.
Mike's the homie, bro. He's just going to loan me a quick bill.
Yeah, Mike came to Christmas.
I will say, Bernie Sanders, the only guy said we ain't going to take his money, so he can keep his fucking money.
Bernie Sanders is just such a fucking, like,
he's America's
when
granddad.
He talks, bro, he's just like, he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, listen, this is bullshit.
Rich people suck.
Like,
we're gonna do everything.
He just you can tell that he's not bullshitting.
No, he's genuine.
When he speaks, yeah, he's genuine. You can tell. And when other people talk, you could like, this is a speech. Yeah. But Bernie, it feels like he's like that. He doesn't have a fucking anything written down. He's just like, listen, I've been saying this for years.
For 30 fucking years, I've been saying.
I marched with Martin Luther King. What else do I need to do?
I will say, I've never seen another politician in my lifetime with that kind of track record. Usually these guys you can find some dirt.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice guys finish last. You don't smoke.
It's true. No, I'm good.
I'll smoke for
politics. Covered a lot of topics.
You did, yeah. We haven't even talked about the Raiders and your new Raiders tattoo.
Yeah.
The dedication that it takes to get a tattoo
of the
sports organization.
Of the Raiders, especially.
Oh, yeah, sports organization. Sorry. I went with the...
I mean, just in general. Yeah, I mean, he's right. You got the... I mean, very California. You're not from California.
No. I got a lot of family down there, but born here.
And not a Seahawks fan.
No, I definitely... I can't remember ever being a Seahawks fan. There was a time, of course, I grew up in the era of Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin, where the Cowboys were like the Michael Jordan. You know, it's like that's what you liked. And then trying to figure out my own team. There was a time where my uncle was a huge 49ers fan, so I thought that's where I was going to be. And then just kind of got messy. When I went out to Wisconsin, everybody, of course, assumed I was a Seahawks fan. I was like, no. And then I was trying to figure it out, and like really just the Raiders just hit with me in my head. Like I probably didn't really become a Raiders fan until shortly after they lost that Super Bowl to Tampa in like 2002 or whatever. Yeah. So it was probably like 2004, 2005 when I started really following the Raiders. Other than that, I just like the football in general. And then same with Lakers. Like when the Sonics left, I, like many of us, felt very lost, but I didn't like the Portland Trailblazers. Like they didn't speak to me that way. So Kobe and Shaq, though,
bro,
man,
I mean, just Kobe. Yeah. That team in 2010.
Yeah.
Kobe,
Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum, like
all that, bro. That was, man, that was the shit. Yeah. That was, yeah, man. I was such a bandwagon Lakers fan. Like I
probably was a little bit too, because like that's
but
the
you
time
lost
of
your
when
team.
I got and I had to find somebody. I've never steered away from ever since, and we've had some horrible seasons, so it's just. But yeah, it's different.
I've definitely jumped off as soon as Kobe stopped playing. I was like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah. See, that's when LeBron went there. I was about to jump off. I mean, like it's not the Lakers anymore.
It almost brought it back for me though. I was like, oh, LeBron's on. Well, maybe we got a new Kobe here, like a new like superstar that's fun to watch. Because Kobe would just, bro, he would just hit these like turnaround fadeaway jumpers that would. Dude, they were just amazing at what he would do.
Yeah. No, and he changed the game. He changed everything.
Everything. Dude. And, LeBron is obviously just amazing as well, But, yeah, dude. I don't know. The whole Kobe thing is, like, hard. It's just a weird world to live in. It
exposed a lot of things to me, too, like, because recently getting back on Facebook, seeing how that changed, like that was a really fucking sad day for so many people, so many reasons. But to see all the negativity and hatred come out of people blew my mind. I was like, how could you even like fathom these thoughts in your head to try to shit on somebody after such a tragic accident happened? Like I didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, people want a reaction. Yeah, I think a lot of people just want attention. They want to go viral. They want to do something. All publicity is good publicity. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why people lash out. I have such compassion for these times in need. When things happen, I feel like I'm such an empath. I just feel for these things that I can't even understand why people are, malicious with their intentions to like want to just say things to hurt people. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's confusing.
But you work with people for a living that just have it's a psychological thing. That's what it is. It's all stemming from right here. We all think about the organs. You think about the stomach. You think about the heart. You think about you don't think that brain is very complex. Yeah, and it can make you do some crazy things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, we can't end it like that.
No, definitely not. That's too sad. That makes me not happy to be here.
I missed it, but it sounded depressing as fuck, bro.
God, it was just like,
what's something positive?
Yeah, Mike, bring us back up.
Positive.
You just took a very nice, fresh piss.
Bro, that was a great piss. Can I tell you? Oh, man. Can I tell you? All right, let's see what we got here.
What's happening in the world?
Yo, so Oprah Winfrey got this friend Gayle King that reports on TV, and she was talking a bunch of shit about Kobe Bryant. She was bringing up the alleged rape charges and all this stuff. Yeah. So Snoop Dogg went in on Gayle King. I don't know if you saw the video.
No.
So Snoop Dogg goes in. He said, "Can I say it? Can I say it?" He's like, "You bald head dog ass bitch." He went in on her or some shit. And yeah,
he said it multiple times.
Went in on Gayle and Oprah a lityour bit. Said, "Keep Kobe's name out your mouth. Don't fucking talk like that." He threatened to pull up on Gayle, like Oprah's like old lady friend. He said, "We gonna pull up on you with the homies." So
what's his homegirl? Is it Barbara Walters? Is that
yeah?
No, Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
I'm gonna get my
Martha
homegirl
Stewart
Martha
rolls
Stewart to whoop her.
Yo, dude, that show they have, Snoop and Martha, they
Awesome.
got a show together. It's awesome, bro. About them just cooking up goodies and shit. Dude, man, Snoop Dogg, man, who would have thought that he'd become such a... And Ice Cube. Like these dudes that were like real hard when you were a kid. You're
Ice
like,
Cube
oh,
making
shit.
family movies.
Yeah,
and
these guys are all family men that just keep it real G.
Of course.
That's...
You gotta be
that's
multifaceted.
Yeah, I mean,
You'd be able
I
to
think
do
that
both.
you just... These guys are just themselves, man. They made it out. A lot of people didn't make it out. A lot of people don't make it out. When you get older, you know, people that you knew and you went to high school with and things that people that you're related to, you know, people pass on and they do, you know, just things happen. And, I mean, it's just like it builds you as a person to take those experiences and that kind of stuff that you go through and the things that you see and then the music that you put out. I feel like a lot of us don't see it in ourselves, right? It takes other people with just the non-biased eye to kind of like you're trying to get them to hear the song and say, hey, you know, what do you really think? You know, to really be able to see your character and be like, dude, you're doing great. And I'm actually working on this new concept for this song called, I don't know what it's called, but it's like, you think you're losing, but you're really up, you know? And the concept is just like, you think that you could always be doing better and that you're not doing good enough. And really it's like from the outside looking in, damn, people are like looking up to you. You're really doing great things. You're making huge strides, but nothing's ever good enough to you.
Well, because how you measure yourself and measure, like, the measure of success is really up to you, right? Like, I had something happen like that where I based my success for years off of my image, based off of my music, based off of like how many Facebook friends you have or likes you have or follower, whatever that may be. And then when I left the game, as Mike said, when I left the game, it was family, right? And it just turned into this whole thing. And then a couple years later, I run into somebody and they're like, hey man, how you been? I was like, oh, you know, just felt like I didn't have anything exciting to talk about. When in reality, one of the greatest moments in my adult life was being told, you make too much money to be on EBT anymore. And I was like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
Like that's success right there for me.
But that's not something that you're trying to...
Yeah, because, well, you don't think of it like that. You don't think of it like, people want to hear this. So I was like, I kind of live in the boring life, you know, work, wife, kids. And he's like, what the fuck? That ain't the boring life. That's the fucking dream. And I was like, oh, that's a whole new way to look at it.
That's a real friend right there.
Yeah. I was like, and I hadn't seen him in years. And I'm just like, but shit, okay, I need to start embracing this a little bit differently, of realizing that, music didn't pan out at the time like I wanted or thought it was going to, or whatever it may be. I haven't written a book yet like I wanted to, but the place I'm in is successful. The place I'm in is a good place.
Yeah.
And I need to go from there and build off of that rather than question it. I need to realize, hey, I'm in a good fucking spot. You know, I have a lot of fucking blessings.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. I fucking love it.
Yeah. And that changed my whole demeanor, really, because it was just try not to be angry and then realizing one day, what the fuck are you angry about? Got a lot of good things going on.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, man. Family is really a big part of it. And when you're kind of yearning for the past, or you're kind of, you know, it's because maybe you had like some real good family life, and when you're older, sometimes you got to handle everything yourself, you know. Shit gets rough, and sometimes you don't get those you don't appreciate the special moments as much because you're too focused on what the next adversity is going to be. What's the next tomorrow? I'm gonna have to worry about this. I'm gonna have to get on it. You know, you're already thinking about that rather than being in this moment. When you were a kid, you would just enjoy I would enjoy the fuck out of a moment. Yeah. You know, if it's my birthday and I'm bowling with my friends, I'm like, dude, what? And you're just, I mean, there was no phones and things like that. You know, phones will really just, the time will pass. Yeah. Things will just fly by. You look at your phone, all of a sudden it's been 30 minutes. You're just like, holy shit. Yeah. you know, when you're having an interaction with somebody, you know, you can kind of enjoy the moment a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, I fucking really enjoyed talking to you today, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming
It's
through.
been great. How long have we been going? This feels like a long.
Has it been a long time?
It was just the right length.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the right time.
You have music coming out, right?
Yeah. So my big thing is Ambivalence coming out. I'm aiming for May 5th, 2020. Yeah. And
Ambivalence. And what we got? How many tracks we got?
we're looking at 35 to 40.
Oh shit! So 2 albums.
Yeah.
Double discing.
Yeah.
He said, I got 40. I might whittle it down a little bit to 35.
Are you doing physical copies? Are you just up on Spotify and all that?
You know, I'm definitely gonna do digital right away, and then I definitely want to get some hard copies pressed up. I wasn't going to until I realized I had some people wanting them, so I'll probably do a short run at first, see how it does, and then if they want more, then I'll get some more. But I'm not gonna do like the big bulk, and I just don't have the time for that hustle right now.
You can only get the album through On One.
Yeah, right.
You got to go through the gatekeeper. Do you who does the beats? Is there all like kind of a plethora of different?
Yeah, so I got mass leases from like the big guy, like what's his name, like Anno Domini or something like that. I get some leases from him, and then On One's made a couple of the beats on there. Moses has made a couple of the beats on there. I got you guys' guy Unalienated Labor on one.
Oh, really?
Nice. Matt's getting work. I like to keep it local,
I
man.
love it, dude.
C-Ray, I got a C-Ray beat on there. And,
That's awesome, man. Yeah. It's cool to be able to bring different styles in.
Yeah.
So is this kind of is this like a concept album? Is it or is it just a bunch of different stuff or?
There's gonna be some variety, like I usually try to have, but it's for me, ambivalence was just a very powerful term that I heard years ago. That was actually supposed to just follow up Drinking Dry Water. You know, I think you said it came out in 2014. Ambivalence supposed to be 2015. It was just supposed to be that. And then
is that about the time that you stopped doing music?
Yeah. And that was just the whole thing. I just stopped and I was like, okay, because I'm kind of an all or nothing guy. So I went from a 24-year-old who was just living for music, living in my cousin's basement kind of style of life, to meeting a woman and turning into a family man overnight. And it was like, holy shit, you know, how do I do this? Because I can't keep doing music, and then I'm not going to be some absentee father type like I had. That's not what I'm getting into. So if I'm signing up for it, I'm signing up for the real deal. And then with that, I just felt like I had to give up music. And then finally, after all these years, finding the balance, that's when I was like, okay, let's try it. And then, had the talk, and you just like, I'm not going to try to come up with something new. I want to finish or take off where I started, or left off more so, with Ambivalence, and show people. And it kind of came more perfect because, like, you're going to get things that I wrote after Drinking Dry Water, but then you're also going to get a shit ton of things I wrote this last year because I had a lot of things on my mind over the years. And it's my transition. Drinking Dry Water itself was a metaphor I came up with of doing something unsatisfactory but required to live. So you got to drink water to survive. If it was dry, it wouldn't be satisfactory. So that's what I felt like my life was at the time.
That's tight. I like that.
So Ambivalence was like, okay, I survived, but now what? I survived all the shit.
Now what are you going to do with it?
Now where do I go?
What do you do? Yeah.
And so hopefully the next one will be more so of like a real, like, solidified, like, I got this. I'm better now. I've changed.
And so you're going to release this in May, and dude, I'm telling you right now, on behalf of all the people, we'd love to get a music video to one of these songs, man.
Yeah.
We get a couple strippers, bro. We go to Deja Vu.
Well, that's what Cordell's the first one who brought up. He's like, we need to do a video for this, and I was like,
yes, you do.
People would fucking love that video.
Love that
They
video,
really would.
dude. And
Yeah,
there's
we gotta
not
get
that
something.
many people that are putting out really fire videos here in Spokane. I mean, there are definitely people that are putting out fire videos, but there's not enough for a city.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, man, there's a lot of really cool local people that do some good stuff. We'll get you connected. We're going to get some videographers on here. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Ambivalence, May 2020. True Justice. True Reviews. Go check it out. Get some movies in your life.
Reviews with a Z.
With a Z.
How fancy, bro.
Oh yeah, and you're on Instagram, but it's kind of hard to find you because it's not under True Justice, right? There's a lot of True Justices out there.
Yeah. There's a True Justice out in Europe, and then there's DJ True Justice, which is real popular. I think California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where I steered away with the George Lopez and Han
So
Solo.
George Lopez on Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook, and all that.
Yeah, Facebook is like George Lopez 509, I believe, and then Twitter, I think it's Han Solo 509.
Okay,
Like,
maybe get all those.
I need a manager.
Gotta unify these.
This is why I
Social
suck at
media
this. So just
Make them all the same.
We'll
That'll
put
be
it. We'll
easy.
put it in the description.
Yeah, exactly. All right, yo,
Yeah.
thanks for coming through, bro.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we out. Peace.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.
Name names.
Yeah, this is a name dropping podcast.
True Justice. George Lopez.
Gabriel Iglesias. No, Jakin.
Fresh Prince.
Snoop Dogg.
Steve.
Eminem and Tupac.
50 Cent. Johnny Knoxville. Grand Theft Auto. Call of Duty.
Tetris. Guitar Hero. Brother Lynch Hung. ICP.
Big P.
On one and
Mods. Blaze One. Keek the Sneak.
Sunreal. Honda Prelude.
J5.
Cordell.
Gary V. Lil Nas X.
Vin Diesel.
John Ward. Z and Dickles from Brain Six. C Ray. Janelle. Pest the Menace.
Ivan. Real Vlogs. Lucky You Lounge. The Bartlett. AllAroundTheBeats.com.
Johnny Spilker.
Fucking Johnny Harmonicas.
Wildcard.
Dead Poet.
Brothers Bar.
My buddy Jeff owns that place.
Dees Casillas. Where's Overtime? Riker and Django and all those guys. Moses, too.
The pin. Cess Crewers.
The Knit.
Shout out to the Outlaws, bro.
Supreme Patty. Bad Barbie. Baby. Dr. Phil.
David Spade's Lights Out Show.
Cardi B.
Kaga. Blasting Waka Flocka.
Steve O.
Brandon B.
Be Vicious. Bump It or Dump It. Urban Plugs. With like Shanna and Genghis and all that.
okay.
Dr. Dre.
Joe Budden.
Rex Life Raj. Biggie.
Big L. Joker.
Imperfect Cody.
Oh, and Cody.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders.
Man, we're doing a lot of name drops tonight.